reads it, then you come on and talk about things in between. So it's more than just the book.
Right.
It's the book plus. It's the book plus like a podcast.
Right. Yeah, so how that came to be, man, is as I was going through this book for the last year, we would go through, change stuff up. I have so many stories, man. We went through interviews, so many people, so many stories. He would come back and read it to me, all my changes. And when he read it, I'm like, man, this guy has a great reading voice. I love his reading voice. And I started getting these different ideas about doing it. Like, you know what? Maybe he can read and I can do my podcast thing on the side. He can, like, after each chapter, in between chapters, make it real interactive type of thing. And that's kind of how it came to be, man.
In the beginning, I gotta be honest. In the beginning, I was like, who is this motherfucker talking for David Garland? So it's like, you redo this? Why don't you do it? Why are you? But it works.
Right.
It really does work.
Yeah.
Like as it goes on, and I got also, it's very obvious that you and him are good friends. So when you guys are talking, I don't mind him reading for you as much for some strange reason.
Right.
I know it doesn't make any sense.
Well, I wouldn't say we're good friends.
No.
I'm just joking, Adam. I know you can hear me right now. He became a pain in my fucking ass during this process, man, because, you know, he's just he's a real anal guy. You know, he helped out a lot. You know, I'm a real raw, sadistic type of mindset, and he helped me put that on paper, man. So I give him a lot of credit for that.
Well, it comes across. The book is outstanding, and you know it's more than just sitting across from you and you telling your story is one thing, but this long, detailed history of how you became to be the person you became, I think it's very educational
So where
for
we drop
people
it?
because they can realize, like, oh, he wasn't always this guy.
Right.
This is what's fucked up about people. Like, you see a guy who's like you who runs. I mean, how many ultra marathons did you run in a row? You ran some insane number.
I think it was. I ran 800s in 8 weekends in a row.
Just stop and think about that,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. 800s means 8 100-mile races. 8 weekends in a row. A 100-mile race will put you out for fucking 6 months.
Right.
You know, and you ran 8 of them. 8
No.
weekends. It's a fucking insane accomplishment. You think about a person like that, you think of them as in this like static, fully formed version.
Right.
You don't usually get to see, and especially someone like you who went into so much depth about your rise and fall and rise and fall. It wasn't like a straight linear process between you getting inspired and then you becoming this bad motherfucker.
No, it wasn't like what's that show called that Will Smith plays. That guy who kind of makes it in the financial world. Pursuit of Happiness.
I never saw that.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It wasn't like Pursuit of Happiness, man. Like where the guy struggles and he gets over it and he makes it.
Yeah.
I fell on my ass. I thought I got to the top of Mount Everest, and Mount Everest just fucking slide right underneath me, man. I was like, God, dog, I gotta start from scratch again. Scratch became my friend, literally, man. So, you know, that's how you put the book, man. Just going up, going down, going up. Just the real raw version of how my life was. And it was so in depth to go back through your life with a fine-tooth comb that I almost got embarrassed to even put it out there to people.
Yeah.
That's what you understand, man. Like, even me right now to talk to you, I'm in the car for a fucking hour getting pumped up because I'm a shy, introverted, leave me alone type of guy. Like, I'm still that motherfucker.
Oh no!
Who's 6 years old, you know, at a play who can't say his line because I know I'm gonna stutter in front of 5 people. So I walk off the stage. That's still me. So every day I'm fighting that dude. So people think, oh my God, man, you're on a podcast. You look so crazy, so evil. No, I'm trying to be locked into Joe. So my mind isn't very often saying, let's run out the damn door because people are watching me on the fucking podcast. I want to open this damn door and get the hell out of here, man. So that's the real me. So I'm not sadistic, man. I'm focused on what I have to do to stay locked into the game of life. And that's what I tell people, man. I go there. I go there.
That's one of the reasons why this book is so good, is because you're so honest about your vulnerabilities and how you overcome them. And for people that see someone who's a beast, who's done great things, you just assume that they're different than you.
Right.
But then you hear about your insecurities and your pitfalls and all the things that went wrong with you, and you realize, well, God damn it, those are the same things that go wrong with me. Like, maybe I have that inside of me and I've just never summoned it.
Right. And I tell you this, I started really realizing that when I started overcoming myself, I started getting around these real alpha males, these hard men. And I always put people way above me when I was growing up. Like, my God, they had to have a lot more than me to get to where they're at. And a lot of them did. But once you get around the best of the best of the best people, you can kind of start breaking them down and realizing, man, you're just as fucked up as me. Like we all have, but all you did was you hit it better. Your upbringing, your mom and dad, your society, the way you were raised, it hit it better than mine. You weren't the only black kid, or there was like 5 in a school. You know, I can't hide. Going through buds, I was the only black kid. You can't hide. But I started realizing just because I look different than you, a lot of you motherfuckers can't hide either. So I started giving me courage through watching people that we all have a story, we all have a jacked up life in one way or another. Some of us don't have the guts to talk about it though. And that's where I found the guts to talk about mine.
Well, there's purity in physical pursuits, right? Because it doesn't matter what your social status is. It doesn't matter how people perceive you. When it comes down to how long can you stay in that pool, when it comes down to how far can you run, when it comes down to how much can you push yourself past the part where you want to quit, how far can you keep going? There's a purity in that it dissolves social order, all that bullshit, what people think about you goes out the window. It's who are you right now?
That's right.
Who are you right now?
That's a true statement, man. And I look at it as psychological warfare. And that's where I started learning that life is one big psychological warfare that you play on yourself. You play on yourself, man. The most important conversation I ever had is with myself. And the shit I was telling myself was so fucked up, it was so wrong, it was so misguided. And other people start to write that dialogue for you also. And it starts to be what you say to yourself every single day. And I started creating a whole nother warfare, a whole nother battle started becoming. I was like, oh, hang on a second, Goggins. You have these tools. You have these tools. Your life was basically the perfect grounds for training for where you need to go in your life. All the beatings, all the bullying, all the, you going through learning disabilities, all the struggles, it was the absolute perfect training ground for you to go to where you need to go. And that's how I started looking at my life versus woe is me, poopy pants, kick a rock down the street mentality. It was, nah, God just hooked you right the fuck up. He hooked you right up, man, with the perfect place. You were training for the first 18, 19, 20, you were training for this stuff, man. You have the advantage of everybody else versus, my God, they're so above me. They came from a great family. Mom and dad love them. They didn't have to learn, they didn't stutter, they didn't struggle. No, man, your struggle is what made you who you are now. So I started flipping this into a whole different, I started being a master of what I was scared of. I was scared of my mind. And I became literally a master of that mind. And that's what now, from now on, it sets me apart from most people. I started diving into that.
Well, that is a big part of the stories when you go over your childhood and, your abusive father and then having this great guy that was going to become your stepdad and he gets murdered. It's like right when you're about to get out of it, everything looks good, boom, and then he gets murdered. It's like these things really did sort of set you up to start from scratch again. You just go, okay, roger that, we start from scratch. And now you have that attitude. You developed it through all of these horrible personal experiences, all the trials and tribulations, all the evil shit that people try to do to you. That sort of set you up to be able to deal in a way that a lot of people can't.
Well, I used to look at my life from a different vantage point. And when you're in all the muck and you're just walking in muck and walking in muck and walking in muck, you don't see that if you look off to the fucking left of the muck, there's a sidewalk, brother. Get off of it. You have your head down looking in this muck. Once I saw the sidewalk, got the sidewalk, I got a little break. And I got a different vantage point. And then from the sidewalk, I found a cliff. Then I found a mountain. I got way up high on top of my life and looked back down on it and said, okay, I got to figure this out, man. I'm not going anywhere. I'm starting to lie. So when you have a messed up foundation, I started lying about everything. I wanted people to like me. I wanted to be accepted in some society of life, some social society. And I was like, man, this isn't the right way. I'm messed up here, I'm messed up here, I'm messed up everywhere. And so I realized the worst thing that happened to me is I lost myself. I never had myself, never found myself. I had no self-esteem. So I knew through working out and through learning, it took a lot for me to learn also. I started finding self-esteem. Once I found that, that's when doors started opening up. I stopped caring about people. That what they thought, being judged. Wow, if I say this, if I started right now, are you making fun of me? I stopped caring about that. And that's when my life started really changing for me, slowly but surely.
That's such an important point when you're talking about the working out, because a lot of people, when they think about working out, they think of it as being a physical thing.
Right, no. I did it for mental.
Yeah.
People always say, my God, like, no, don't look at it like, I didn't care about losing weight. I didn't care about being the fastest person. I wasn't making the Olympics. I wasn't going to pros. I could barely read and write when I was in a junior in high school. I wasn't going anywhere. I saw working out as a way for me to build calluses on my mind. I had to callous over the victim's mentality. So I watched these movies. I talked about Rocky last time I was on here. I always equated training to mental toughening. Like, it always looked brutal. People waking up early and doing all these things, and it looked horrible. I was like, wow, man, I got to start doing that. I have to get better, bigger, and stronger. But that is what's going to be. That looks uncomfortable. That looks brutal. And getting up early, I don't want to do that. Some of this long list of things that I don't want to do. And through that, I found myself. I started, I'm like, you guys aren't doing this shit in high school. You guys aren't getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, running over here in this golf course. So I started seeing myself very differently than the average human being. I was like, hang on a second. I have something they don't have. And that's when I started to develop these things through working out. It was this great, never-ending work ethic. And through work ethic, I developed self-esteem.
Now, is this something that you learned? Is this something you learned yourself from exercise yourself? Or is this something you had read or heard about? Like, what made you equate doing this and doing these difficult things physically to mental toughness, to being, this is the discipline that you need in order to get your life out of the situation you're in?
So I never read anything. I could barely read, so right. I wasn't reading back then. I watched a lot of movies, and I was really big into visualization. And I always equated working out to struggle. And I struggled my whole life, but I ran from it. So I started realizing, man, I got to start facing the struggle, and I got to be mentally strong for the struggle. So that's why I started coming up with, I'm training for life. Mentally, I'm training for life. I'm not training for, to lift 400 pounds. And I found out on my own pretty much, is that through discipline, through self-discipline, through repetition, through tons of repetition of the same thing that you don't want to do, and that's the key thing. Through repetition of things you don't want to do, you develop mental, like an armor for your mind. You start to armor your mind, because your mind's like, okay, we suffer every day. It's what we do. We do stuff that sucks every day. So then when the suck stuff comes, you're ready for it. And that's how I started coming up. I just started being very uncomfortable. And now it's like just a way of life.
It's a crazy thing to figure out, though. It's like that you figured it out, and you didn't just figure it out, you embraced it. Like when you were talking about your senior year of high school, you were talking about your mirror being your accountability mirror. Like you had a radical shift. Mm-hmm. Like you just decided to not be a fucking loser, right, and to start tightening up and start holding yourself accountable and get ready for things.
So I had this my whole life. I mean, I don't know if people believe in God or what. I don't care what you believe in. There's been this unrelenting voice in my head. We all have this voice. It's the right or wrong voice. And a lot of times that voice guides us into comfort. And my voice guided me into comfort a lot. But I had this other voice I heard my whole life saying, hey, motherfucker, what are you doing? No, man, we got to go over here. We got to go over here to that rock pile over in the fucking corner where nobody's at. That's where victory's at. We're over there in that corner. So this voice was giving me all these answers. Now, I wasn't a real smart kid growing up, but I had this crazy voice in my head saying, over there is where the fucking answers are. And I didn't want to listen to it because over there was pain. Over there was me looking in the mirror. Over there was me being accountable for all these things I went through my life. Even though people put them on me, it's now mine to own. And I didn't want to go over there by myself, but I had to. And this voice was guiding me there. It's God, whatever you want to call it. But that's what it was in me.
Do you think that's just what when you separate yourself from your ego and what your insecurities and all if you were giving yourself advice, you would say that's what the thing is to do. So do you think that's what it was, like your subconscious, or you stripped away from all the bullshit when you couldn't lie to yourself because it's a voice in your head?
That's exactly it. It's exactly it.
Because it knew.
It knew. I was a character. I was trying to find myself through a character. I was making different hairstyles and sagging my pants, and I was off. I was off, man. I was a clown. I was a clown, and I was like, this is not where you're supposed to be in life, man. And it's ugly when you look in that dirty mirror and you're trying to do a new hairstyle to go to school. You know, I had a hairstyle one time where I shaved the top of my head. You know how old men had the hair like leaving their head?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to school with hair on the side of my head and in my back, and I shaved the whole top of my head. I went to school like that, you know. And then I had like.
What did the kids say?
I don't remember what they said, but I was just a funny dude. You know, so that was my thing. I was the funny dude that came into school, like Criss Cross came out when I was in high school. So my pants were backwards. I said, you know, I'm gonna have my pants backwards, sag down past my ass crack, shirt turned backwards with a toothbrush in my mouth with the reverse part. The reverse part is your head is shaved and you have some hair on top. Just a little piece of hair versus like a part through hair. The part was on a bald head. So it was just, I would sit at home, instead of studying, I would think about, what can I do to impress the motherfucker at school?
Wow.
And that became my life. And that it's a long road to hoe to get to the guy who says now, you don't ever smile on any podcast, you look so serious. I look at that shit, I'm like, you motherfuckers have no idea who I am, where I've come from to get here today.
You could have probably been an entertainer.
I probably
like
did.
You probably, because you were doing all that kind of shit.
I have some jokes, Joe. I got some jokes, Joe.
You did.
So what people read in this book can't hurt me. It's a sad story. It's a horrible story. It's a tragic story. It's a story that made me who I am today. But you have to learn to laugh at yourself too. Once you go through that shit, so there's a lot of parts in there where it's a lot of me against a lot of white people, you know? And I have a routine that I won't do, so people who hire me to speak, I'm not going to do the routine. I often do it sometimes. Think about it. I was a 36 black guy to go through SEAL training, okay?
Out of how many people?
Out of probably, looking at probably 11, 12, to make it through, probably 13,000 SEALs. I was probably the 36, I was the 36 black guy to make it through, since like the 1940s, you know, you're looking at almost 70 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so you know, do the math on that. So there's not a lot of black guys, and so I take that and I make a nice comedy skit out of that shit. You know, like the first time they tied me up and threw me, it's called drown proofing.
Yeah.
So I'm negative boring as hell, you know.
Me too.
Oh.
I'm related to that big time.
Yes, you're one of the few white boys, man. They're negative boring. You sink like a rock.
Like a rock.
And that's hard. So imagine them getting your hands and feet, tying your ass up and throwing you in the fucking water and say swim. It was like throwing a cat in the water with fucking a brick on him. So I was just losing my fucking mind. So it's so many things I had to get over, you know. And I found humor. I found humor in my suffering. I was like, motherfucker, what are you doing out here, Goggins? Like, this is crazy. Like, you're literally trying to reinvent the wheel, but I was trying to reinvent my mind. And I used every single tactic possible to do that. I didn't want to live in this world where I was a fake human being anymore. And I was tired of blaming everybody for where I was at. My dad beat me, this happened. I mean, my dad ran prostitutes, man. My dad literally snatched the soul out of my mom. Like, my mom is still battling. Like, after my mom left my dad, and this is what I'll talk about in the book, she got married 3 times for a total of 6 months. You know, I don't go there. I'm not even going to talk about the guy she married. So this woman she's beautiful, she's so smart, all this stuff, man. This guy literally stripped her soul away. And I was a young kid watching it. And I had no soul to begin with. And my brother, he has a story that he could write 8 books. You know, my dad just came through and just washed us all clean. So to come out.
Is he still around?
He died about 4 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago, I'm not for sure. I didn't go to the funeral, but I forgave him. So I saw my dad through an 8-year-old's eyes. So we left when I was 8. And then at 22, I went back to see him through a grown man's eyes. And he was the same person I remembered. But I had to. You can't live with hate. You cannot move forward. As much as that guy tried to ruin all of our lives, that's where I came from. I had to figure out the origin of where I started from. So when I was going back through my life trying to fix who I am, the fucked up person I was, like, if your knee hurts, it's usually not your fucking knee that's hurting. There's something else, man. Like, it could be a tight quad. It could be the right leg if it's the left leg. You got to find out the origin of where all this shit began. And it was him. So I had to go back to where, you know, my roots and the origin of all this happened, and it's hard to do that.
Did you make peace with him?
I made big peace with. So we didn't have a peaceful conversation. We left very Garanimal. He's a vicious man. He was a vicious man. I mean, medieval motherfucker. So I had become a medieval motherfucker at that time. I was 22 and I was the big boy, and so I was no longer the guy who was afraid. It was now like, hey, I want to kill you type of shit. And we were sitting at Denny's after an all-night skate or whatever the hell, you know, he owned bars and skating rinks and shit like that. And so we were sitting down and we kind of got into it, and I just kind of left. But I had to make peace with it in myself. I could not hold on to that hate, because holding on to that hate was half the reason why I kept falling into the same pattern of failing.
Wait, I've only seen one dude.
I had to start dumping off some baggage. I had to start figuring out me through him, and that's all he was there for. He was the origin. I had to figure him out, figure out why he was so evil to my mom, to me, my brother.
Okay.
And I had to start studying him. Like, a lot of people have situations where someone does something and we all attack that person, like on the media. If someone does something wrong, everybody now is fucking perfect. And we now judge this guy. I don't judge him. I don't judge anybody. What I do is I start studying them. Why did they do that? Not in a judging way. I want to learn from you.
And what'd you get out of your dad?
I got that he grew up rough. He was very insecure, had a lot of kids, and his insecurities just trickled over onto us. So, yeah, he jacked us up real good, but he never fixed himself. So if you never fix yourself, the next person in line is going to get the rap. And we were next in line. You know, his first wife, you know, killed herself or whatever happened, and, you know, got burned up in a house or something. It's some craziness, man. There's a lot of stuff that goes on there that I didn't put in the book because I don't feel like going to court.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this it was a lot of stuff.
You know, one of the great parts about this book is that you detail exactly what was going through your mind in terms of like your weaknesses and how you had failed, and then it's not just one time. Like you do the thing in high school where you get your shit together, and then you join the military, and then you wind up getting fat again, and then when you have to lose 106 pounds in 3 months to qualify for SEAL training.
For SEAL training, yep.
That's insane.
Yeah, because what I realized at that time, once again, I failed again. I thought, so what you're talking about is I took this ASVAB test. You know, I didn't know how to read and write pretty much in high school. I was like at 4th grade reading level. And I took that test a few times, and I finally passed it. And when I passed it, I actually drove my car to the daggone airport and watched planes take off, because I was like, I'm gonna be on one of those planes one day going to Air Force boot camp. So I always fixed the things on the surface. So if I couldn't read and write, I learned to read and write. I would always fix these things on the surface level. And so whenever something hard would raise its ugly head, I didn't have any kind of tools to handle it. I'm like, man, I thought I fixed this already, man. But no, I didn't go deep into the dungeon of my soul to say, okay, what is making you a quitter? What is making you a weak man? What is making you afraid? And so that's why I kept on quitting and going back to start, or not knowing how to get through hard times. And that's why I always tell people, I'm not a theorist. I didn't study, I didn't study a fucking book. I literally put myself in a fire repeatedly like a sword. You put a sword in a fire repeatedly and repeatedly. If you keep on doing that, you're going to get a nice sword. And then you keep on beating it. You got to beat the shit out of it. And that's what I am. Yeah. I became that. I said, okay, we can't quit. We got to figure out why you are this pussy. Why are you this pussy, man? What is wrong with you? What's going on here? So I kept on putting the sword back in the daggone fire, and I just beat it harder. And I beat it harder. Before I knew it, I started realizing, all right, man, the brain is starting to get hard. The brain is starting to get hard. I'm no longer a theorist. I'm now a practitioner. I put it in hell. I dissected it while it's in hell, because you can't dissect anything in a normal environment. You can't dissect anything in 72-degree weather. You must put it in the fucking freezer and freeze the fuck out of it. And then you dissect it. Dissect it when it's miserable. Dissect the brain when all it's thinking about is, I need to get out of here, man. I want to get out of the fucking freezer. Open the door. And you said, nah, 5 more seconds, man. 5 more seconds in the freezer. And that's when you start to pick that brain apart. And that's what all this stuff did to me. I kept on putting myself back into the freezer or the fire and beating the shit out of myself, mentally and physically. Before I knew it, this is what happened.
Wow. It's an interesting way to self-teach. You know, like most people that you talk to that are disciplined, they they have something that they read that inspired them. They have certain people that they look up to. There's certain coaches that taught them. There's certain important moments in their life. But for you, it's a system of failure and reflection, and then rebooting.
That's it. Yeah. Repeated failure. And people think a lot of times about me that I'm angry. Oh my God, you sound so angry. You cuss so much. Oh my God, why you cuss so much? Why are you so crazy? If you read my book, I cannot explain my life by saying, hey, it was a Merry fucking Christmas, man. No, it wasn't. I want you to go there with me. I'm taking you there with me. I'm a storyteller. I want to take your ass down paradise. So the house I lived in Buffalo, New York, that I got my ass beat every day, funny. We lived on Paradise Road, and it was anything but fucking paradise. So I want you to go there with me. You want to learn from me? Let me take your ass home. Let me take you there. So that's the whole thing about it, man. We're scared to dive into our lives, what made us who we are. The beautiful people that we are. We're all jacked up in so many ways. That's the beauty of us. That's the beauty of me. I'm jacked up. But I figured out my own little process on how to get unjacked up and how to. I'm not gonna get the same. I'm not gonna get the same way you're gonna get there. You may get there by going point A to point B. I might go point C to D to E to F, but I'm gonna be there the same way you are, just a little harder. That's how I train my brain. So it's just different. It's different thing.
God, this is so annoying.
When you stop and think about all the different times that you did have to reboot and how you found like new goals and you found new inspiration and you fired up a new discipline and you became stronger and harder and you got... One of the things that people always look for in life, they look for a point where they can rest.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm gonna retire. Like people they love that expression, the golden years. They love that expression.
Yes.
They love the idea of a struggle as long as it ends, and then when it ends, they're gonna have a nice, comfortable spot.
It must end. Yeah, the suffering must end.
Yeah, you should relax, man. You've done so much.
That's right.
You've really done so much, but the idea of reaching this golden year it's a very flawed idea, because it's an idea that you're gonna work hard, but then you're gonna reach the finish line. But there's no finish line. No. It doesn't exist.
That's the scary thing about life, my friend.
That is a scary thing, right?
And that's what fatigues me. People go, man, why don't you ever smile? Fucking end.
Damn. Wait, did we get each other? Did we kill each other?
There's no end.
No way.
You know that you're
we did.
Yes, sir.
And
this sucks.
If you guys run, put a number of that miles that you're going to run and leave it at that. Do not say, let's see who quits, because you will both die. Because that's a hard man.
He is a hard man.
Cameron Hayes is a hard man. He will run until you die or he dies.
He's a hard man, dude.
He does those 240s. He does those ultra. He's a sick fuck.
And see, those are the guys I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's a scary. The two of you guys, you need to pick a number.
I know.
Whatever you get. I think you guys are gonna run 35 miles.
Yeah.
Is that what you're gonna do? Good.
Yeah,
35 is a good number.
Yeah, we've been texting back and forth trying to make it sensible,
Yeah.
so we don't go off the chain.
Because if one of you motherfuckers wakes up and has a good strong espresso,
I know.
And goes, fuck it, let's do 300.
It's gonna be on.
No!
It's gonna be a long day, man.
No.
That's it.
Yeah. You know this new race that they're doing where they're you run for 1 hour.
Wait, did that?
You run like as many, and then you have like a bell rings, and then you sit down for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like there's like a 4.17 mile thing.
Yep.
It's that sick fuck. What was the guy's name that created that?
The guy did the Barkley Marathon.
Yes.
Assault rifle.
You're talking about Laz.
Yeah, this crazy fuck.
Laz.
So he had people running for days and days and days.
He invited me out there for this race.
Yeah?
I actually got into the Barkley last year, but couldn't do it because of the book. So I'm supposed to do it this year, but now, we'll see again how the schedule goes. But yeah, that's a sick man. I've done a couple of his races. Like he has one called Strolling Jim. I actually won that one in 2016. But he's a sick man.
What is a strolling gym race?
It's his probably easiest race. It's like through the back country of Tennessee. It's a 41-mile race on the road. It's one of the first ultra marathons out there ever. And my mom lives in Nashville, so it's like an hour drive. I went up there, and it was like one of my first races back after me being all sick and jacked up for so long. And I got lucky, had a good race, and I happened to win it.
You know, you were talking about psoas muscle. And you
Yeah.
had all that. We have this thing now that we got. What is that called? The
So right.
So right. Have you ever used one of
I
those
have it
fucking
also.
things?
I saw it in there, that little black contraption.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that hard plastic thing.
Yeah.
That thing's phenomenal.
It's evil, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
It's amazing.
I started getting tightness in that when I was running a lot. Like, I'd never gotten tightness in that area before.
Yeah.
It seems like that's a running thing, right?
It's a running thing and also a very stressed thing. You know, if you're real stressed out, man, like for me, like I talk about the origin, where things start. My body was so wrapped tight, I didn't know where to start.
Yeah.
So I started with the psoas muscle, so that's a real good spot.
Well, the problem with these races is the problem with people like you. That's the problem with these races. Like, if you get you and another you,
Right.
and they're in there together, like, you motherfuckers are gonna kill each
It's a
other.
long day.
It's a long day.
It's a long day.
It's a long day. Because if they're doing a last man standing type
Yeah.
deal, right?
Yeah.
Like the first person to quit.
Yeah, it's a real long day, man. I mean, I've been up, I got a couple of hills under my belt, man. I know how to stay up for 130 hours and move.
Yeah.
And I know how to self-motivate. A lot of motherfuckers don't know how to self-motivate, man. Like, we like to put the headphones on,
Yeah.
like before the big game and listen to the music.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you do when the headphones come off, bro? It's you in your own mind.
Right.
I know how to do that. That's the hard part,
Do you
man.
ever listen to music when you run?
Never.
Never. I told you, James, it's cheap.
There's that video. I
But-
thought you want to see it.
But
He talks about like running with music. And
No, what did you say? Find it. Find the video. We'll play it. We might not be able to play it. Is it somebody else's content?
I actually, but I did during my last pull-up record. I listened to, that song from Rocky 1, round 14, when Rocky gets knocked down the corner. I listened to that. It's 2 minutes and 13 seconds long. I listened to it on repeat for 17 hours. Merry Christmas, motherfucker. Merry Christmas.
Oh, man.
17 hours, man. I went to such the dark, dark evil. I have a picture in my hand in the book. I was in a dark. I went to a place, man, that I'm like, I can do anything here. We gotta live here for a while. Cause I kept on feeling that record. I go, I don't want to see a pull-up bar again. I mean, like, I did 67,000 pull-ups, man. Like, this is my third. I'm like, I can't. I don't want to see no pull-up. So I was like, I'm doing this come hell or high water, man. So I broke it out.
Is this the video? Let me hear this. Play this.
So I never trained with music. There's a reason why I don't do that. The music's not gonna always be there. The TV, the distractions, all these external things. I'm in the gym right now with all this loud music. People need it to get fired up. They need it to stay motivated. They need to stay in the fight. They need it to just go in the gym to do whatever they're gonna do. What do you do when you have no external motivation? It's about the internal. What do you say to yourself? How are you gonna fire yourself up? What's that flame inside of you that keeps you going? Let that keep you going, not this.
And when you're doing this, the whole time you're doing this, you're doing some of the hardest chin-ups you can do. You got a chain around your neck
Right.
for the folks that are just listening, and you're pulling down on ropes. You're doing chin-ups on, it looks like taped-up ropes.
Yes, sir.
That's what it is? Yeah, those are grip.
Yeah.
That's like jiu-jitsu guys do a lot of those.
Yes, I was. I spoke to the University of Alabama, and they were in there. Most of these athletes, man, they got to get hype. So
Yeah.
that music is blaring.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, once that shit comes off, and you get popped in your fucking mouth, your headphones are on the sidelines, brother. What you gonna say? What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
We can say to yourself then. So that's how I train my mind, man. I train my mind because I'm not gonna get popped in my mouth, man. I'm gonna get popped in the back of an alley one day, man, running around doing what I do, and there's be no music.
Yeah.
You better figure it out.
I told you James was cheating. I told him back in the. I was telling, but when I first started running, people said, "Do you run with music?" I said, "No, running's cheating. When you have music on, it's cheating. You're cheating. You listen to music." But now I listen to music all the time. But more than I listen to music, I listen to books.
Yeah.
Books on tape, audio books, and yours is, like I said, has been the last 2 weeks has been my running partner.
Well, I appreciate that, man.
It's
Your
fucking
support has been
phenomenal,
huge.
man. It's
Thank you.
phenomenal. And you're doing this kind of independently, right?
Yeah, so what I did, man, is I pissed off a lot of people. So in 2012, I got an offer for my book for $30,000. I said, you can go fuck yourself. You know what hell I went through, brother? So then everybody was like, you know, we don't see a market for a black guy, ultra runner, fat guy who couldn't read. Like, you know, 15% of America's black. You know, we don't see many fucking, you know, people buying your book.
They think only black people will buy your book?
There's some ignorant
really
people
what
out
they
there,
thought?
man. Everybody that follows me is white. I don't have a black. I have like 3 black followers, man.
Eve Edwards just left.
It's
He follows
hilarious.
you.
Yeah,
Eve
right.
Edwards is a big fan. He's black.
Yeah, he's like an unusual species out there, man. Like, and so I'm sitting there walking around going, man, you don't even know who, like, everybody I talk to is white. Like, you know, it's the ignorance of the world. And I'm in these meetings hearing this kind of stuff. So now, 2018, I get a $300,000 offer for a first-time author. So I'm sitting back, you know, I'm like, my God, man, you know, I used to make like fucking $60,000 a year. You know, this is the biggest payday yet. And I started thinking, I took that 1 second, I talk about the 1 second decision a lot about what I went through in my life, what I've done. And I was like, you know what? I struggled so hard in my life. I went through so much that the biggest trophy I own now is that book. The biggest trophy I own now is not the book itself, it's what's in the book. It's what, like, I don't give a fuck if that sells 1 copy. Honest to God, man, like what I did, and that's what I hope people understand. Your life and the journey you put yourself through, there's nothing more than that. And that's all I want people to do is realize that you have to struggle. You have to struggle. The bigger the struggle, the bigger the peace. The bigger the suffering, the more peace.
I'm not just saying this because
Yo, where are you? Oh my
this book
God.
is very valuable. It's
Come
valuable
on.
to people, like anybody that, you know, I mean, biographies are always valuable.
What, did
you
you all
get to see
die?
The mindset of
Wow.
a person who's done things you haven't done. You get to understand, like,
Right.
that they're overcoming sort of the same sort of situations in their mind that you are.
Right.
Same insecurities and pitfalls. But
Yeah, everybody's gone through it, man.
yeah.
Everybody. That's one thing I say. I'm blessed that way, that my story, there's no color involved in it. It's a human story about struggle. And I happen to be in so many different situations that so many people can relate to about struggle that I guarantee you, mark my word, you read that book, there will be a section of that book that resonates with you hardcore. It will make you think. If you're not ready to think about your life and think about, you know, where you can be and think about what you haven't done, the book's not for you. If you're not ready to really self-reflect and hold yourself accountable for where you're at and where you're not, the book is not for you. It's real.
I've read a lot of self-help books, and I've listened to a lot of self-help books on tape too. And there's some of them that I have to shut off. I have to shut off a quarter way, and I feel like someone's lying to me. I just like, you're bullshitting me. You're just saying things. This doesn't resonate with me. It's not working.
Right.
Like, I'll give it a chance. But if I'm, you know, half hour in, 2 hours in, it's still the same nonsense. I don't feel anything.
Right.
I'm getting itchy listening
Right.
to you. I'm just, you know, I just want to pull the headphones off and I'll just kill it and I'll
Right.
stop it. This was the total opposite. This one, man, I was running extra miles so I could stay with the headphones on. And the thing that I think is going to happen with this book is people are going to get it. They're going to get a hold of it, whether it's the audiobook or the book, and they're going to recommend it, and then it's going to spread like wildfire. This is a powerful book. This is a real self-help book. This is a real one. Like, it's not like someone orchestrates this whole thing. Like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to become a motivator.
Right.
I'm going to be a personal influencer.
Right.
I'm going to be that guy that goes out there and tells people, you can optimize your life. Here's how you do it. And there's so many of those fucking guys out there.
Right. Yeah, that's not me, man.
I know this one dude, I ran into him recently. I ran into him at this restaurant. He's fat as fuck. He's got this big old belly. And I know he does these motivational things. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, what are you talking about, man? Like,
Right.
you're weak.
Right.
Like, look at your body. Look at your own temple. Look at your meat vehicle. You're
Right.
carrying around this fucking donut around your waist. It's just, he's eating shitty food, and he looks soft. I'm like, wake up, bitch.
So many people are doing that now, man. So
Yeah.
many people are talking this noise.
Exactly.
And I see them.
Yeah.
I know them. I'm not going to say names, but I know them. I'm like, man, dude, do you know how my life is miserable right now? Because I can't go on your show right now, your podcast, if I didn't get after this morning. So I cannot talk to people.
Unless you're authentic.
Unless I'm authentic. Because I used to be the most unauthentic motherfucker on the planet. Now, I have this voice in here saying, oh no, I'll call you up. If I lie to you about something, even a white lie. Hey, yo, Joe, guess what, dude? I fucking lied to you, man. Like that wasn't real. Like it will bother me that badly now. You know. So another thing, what's funny about all this book stuff, man? I didn't set out to write a book. Like literally, man. When I was 24 years old on the couch, fat, spraying for cockroaches, eating donuts and drinking milkshakes, I did not plan on doing this. All I wanted to do was change the fucking reflection in that daggone mirror. This is all. It's a byproduct of that, and that's the funny thing about it. Like everybody's like, "Oh my God, David Goggins," but I'm like, what the fuck?
That's why it works, though.
Unbelievable.
It works because you really did do it. You really did do all those things, and you show how you did it. And you're not using any bullshit theatrical jargon.
No.
You're not, you're not saying a bunch of buzzwords. Can you live the life of an actualized person? I can show you how. And you're looking at this guy talking. He's got a neck like a pencil. And his body is just frail. Like you don't even understand adversity. You don't understand overcoming.
This is not The Secret. You know, this isn't about the law of fucking attraction.
Yeah, exactly.
No, this ain't no attraction here, brother. This ain't no attraction here, man.
Yeah,
like, this book is straight up. Yeah.
They love nonsense.
Yeah, this is no nonsense, man.
It's no nonsense. This is a real self-help book, man. This is a real deal. That's how you self-help. You self-help by people who have done it, and you learn what they did, and you realize there's no shortcuts.
Right.
And then you learn to embrace that no shortcut mentality and enjoy the suffering and the grind of it. And what we talked about earlier, there's no fucking finish line. It doesn't exist.
You know what's funny about that? Is I have people now, so when I was in the worst part of my life, those people want to bring you back in. Those people, like you can see who you hang out with, like when you're in your worst. And when you're trying to get better, what makes it hard to get better is that you are hanging around people who, like, let's say you are an alcoholic. You hang around people who drink. And let's say you want to stop drinking. Those people want to bring you back in. Like I used to be this guy who wasn't worth anything. Now those people who are still there, they're 16, 17, 18, 30 years ago, they're trying to get you back there. So the hardest part, you got to see who you're hanging out with, man. You got to hang out with the people who you want to be like.
Especially if you're around someone who's failing. Those is just like they're the opposite of inspiration. They're like a vacuum.
100%.
It's sucking it out of you.
Why are you doing that today, man?
Yeah.
Why are you getting up again so early? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? The people you hang around with will suck the fucking life out of you. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta be get your shit in.
And then there's also people that you're gonna be around that are always failing and always fucking up, and then they're always coming to you to try to get you to help them.
Exactly.
They become a giant burden.
Yes.
They never look in the mirror and get their own shit together, and they're always looking for external help.
That's right. Always looking for external. People don't want to go in deep, man. All the answers are inside of you. It's a very primitive way. How this book is written, it's primitive.
As if you guys to like sleep.
It's very barbarian. It's how we all think. It's how man once walked the earth. And then we get all soft and all these computers and shit. And we start going away from the most powerful thing we have is our fucking brain. It's our mind. And we don't use it anymore. So, it's like everything has to be so quick.
Yeah, you use your mind when it comes to certain things, right? But what you're saying is you don't use your mind when it comes to enduring.
Exactly. That is it. You can't Google that shit.
Right.
Hey, let me Google how to suffer. No. That ain't gonna be in there, brother.
No answer.
That ain't gonna be in there. That ain't gonna be in there.
There's no answer.
It's not in there.
It doesn't exist.
No. Find some water, real cold.
And what's interesting is that is a mind thing. And people think of mind things. They think of calculating, mathematics. They think of literature. No. There's many aspects to the mind.
That's it. Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it.
No.
Put your shoes on. Lace them up. That's all you got to do, my friend. Don't overthink the process.
Yeah, but see, because you've overcome and because you've accomplished so much now, that even when you talk about that moment of like embracing that suck, like you see there's a big ass smile on your face. Like you've got a total different approach to it than the average person.
Oh yeah.
The average person, you talking to them about doing chin-ups for 24 hours or anything fucking crazy, they don't look at it. They're like, oh. There's like a negative, a doom feeling.
That's the thing about it, man. I talk about my book, open-mindedness. What separates me from a lot of people is they go into a daunting task, and the task is overwhelming. Like when I heard the pull-up record was 4,020 pull-ups, and I was talking about breaking this record, people are like, "Oh my God!" I went right to a pen and paper. They go, "What are you doing?" I'm doing the math, man. What are you talking about? I'm open-minded to the fact that, okay, if I do 5 pull-ups in a minute for so many hours, I can get so many pull-ups in. How much time do I have to rest? I was breaking the math down. You have to be open-minded to the possibilities that I can do this. Once you shut your mind down to the possibility that it can be achieved, there's no way it can happen. So that's why my eyes and my body light up about things, because I know that if you're in a fight, you have to attack. You have to keep attacking. The enemy has to know he is not going to give up. You must break the soul of whatever the fuck is in front of you. That's what I realized. I was never breaking the soul of anything in front of me. So that's why I came up with this thing called Taking Souls in my book. I started to devise ways to break a soul of a human being, of an object, of whatever's in front of me. If you keep on attacking something, nothing wants to stand in front of anything that is relentless. Nothing.
Taking Soul out of the book is really interesting because you talked about like mind shift that you had when you were in Buds.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's an intense part of the book.
It is. That's when a lot of stuff started clicking, man. I started watching those instructors on the side because there's 3 shifts. There's 8 instructors, 3 shifts. Because the guys going through Hell Week, they're up all day and all night for 130 hours. This is the promised land of mental hardening for me. I love this place. And you have the instructors who they've been there, done that. Now they're instructing you. So they do their 8-hour shift. They have their parkas on. It's usually cold, coffee, drinking their coffee, and they're beating the crap out of us. And when I started realizing, I started playing mind games. And I was like, you know what? I bet these fuckers are looking at us, judging themselves about when they were going through Hell Week. About, let me see, I'm looking at Goggins right now. I was better than him. I was better than that guy. I was better than that fucker over there. And I was like, okay, you gotta judge me, right? All right. So that's what I'm gonna do to you. So what I started doing was I got my boat crew, Boat Crew 2. It's in the book. It's a great story. Say, come here, guys.
You can't break Boat Crew 2.
You can't break Boat Crew 2. So it's Wednesday, and everybody's broken, everybody's beat up, man. And like this is when you start moving like a robot. Everybody's like just trying to get through Hell Week now, and your energy's zapped. And they know Wednesday's like that over the hump.
I love that you talked about that in the book too. That they put it in your head that Wednesday you're going to be tired.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing. They tell you how you're supposed to feel, so you are feeling that way. I was like, don't let these motherfuckers tell you how you're supposed to feel. No, it's day 1, motherfucker. This is hour 1. So I was getting my boat crew all jacked up. I said, we're gonna take these motherfuckers' souls. So when they had us doing this simple thing that guys are struggling with, Boat Crew 2 was just launching the fucking boat in here, yelling, yeah, you can't fucking hurt us. You can't hurt Boat Crew 2. And I looked on the instructors' faces and it looked like someone had just fucked with their soul. And I looked at my guys in my boat crew and I said, hey, guess what? Those motherfuckers aren't fucking tonight. We own space in their fucking head. We own space. They're gonna think about us tonight. They can think about how the fuck.
Killing boners.
That's right. How on Wednesday are these guys doing this?
And screaming out, you can't hurt Boat Crew 2.
We were bringing the fight. We were attacking. So when you keep on doing that, guess what people start doing? I ain't fucking with these guys no more. So Boat Crew 2 got a lot more. Boat Crew 2 just became that Boat Crew. Like, hey, we just kept charging and we started fueling off of that. We started fueling off the fact that, man, it takes 1 second of energy to steal everybody's. And then you have all the energy you need. That's all you need. You need to look at someone's eyes. You know how it is when you fight somebody, you broke that motherfucker. He's like, oh God, man, I don't want to go back to the next round. And you feel like, my God, I can fight all day. I can fight all day long. That's what Taking Souls is. But you have to have the will, the heart, the courage to go that distance when you're exactly jacked up. You have nothing left to give and give more.
There's an interesting thing about the mind is that you can find inspiration, and when you find inspiration, when you get charged up, all of a sudden you have energy.
That's right.
It's right. It's weird.
And I talk about in the book also is about I learned how to control my adrenals. If you know how you get that fight or flight response when you get to move real quick, and I started learning the mind a lot, how to get myself jacked extremely fast. Like in a horrible environment when everybody's miserable, I learned how to really find strength in the misery. When everybody's suffering, everybody's all poopy pants, their mentality's down and everything, I started like, my God, this is where I shine. And I started using all that misery for tons and tons of drive and motivation to to then lead people further. Because you can get a lot of power through misery. And when people see that, my God, Goggins is fucking going. Everybody's like, shit and go too. So I started realizing that if you can just find strength just a little bit longer, you will have a crew of people following you along the way.
And that is another thing that no one can ever teach you. You're going to have to learn that on your own. You're going to have to figure out how to pull that energy out of your mind on your own. There's no book you can read that all of a sudden I have it. I've got the technique now. I know how to do it.
Yeah.
No, it's a grind that you have to start and finish on your own.
You have to take great pleasure in the fact that no one wants to be where the fuck you're at right now. Great pleasure in that. Most makes, they have to bring a passion out. It has to be something very, very weird out here, man. Like,
Small.
People don't really understand what that is. You're in the possible, this situation possible. And everybody's looking like that. I hope they see this. And you see that. Time slows down and you see that. You're feeling that. Everybody has that look on their face like, God, this got to go. I don't want to be anymore.
Have you ever gotten rhabdomyolysis?
Oh, yes, sir.
Did you get it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When did you get it?
I got it on my second pull-up record attempt. And I talk about it a little bit in the book there. And at Max, I have sickle cell trait. And a young kid just died from rhabdo. Because sickle cell is not a good thing, obviously. And rhabdo's a bad thing for having sickle cell.
You have sickle cell trait, but you don't have it. A buddy of mine died from it when I was a kid.
Really?
A guy I used to fight with, used to train with. Yeah, he was always sick. Have it, get sick. He's horrible. He'd be gone. He'd be out of the gym for months and come back and he'd just be trying to get his body back in shape again.
Jacks you up. So they put me in the hospital for a while. That's when my hand got real messed up. And my fluids were extremely low. And I had done like, I think I did 3,000 pull-ups. And they're like, man, your body is wrecked up.
Were you just not drinking water while you're doing it?
I was drinking water, but not enough. So I was sipping this carbohydrate drink. And my calories were extremely low. I didn't know how much I was going to burn through. And you burn through an awful lot of calories when you do that many pull-ups for that many hours.
Yeah.
And with the repetition, with using the single points, of just my hands and my biceps, like my body was just so I mean, it looked horrible. And so it kept me in there for a while.
How long?
Probably about 8 hours. I was in about 8 hours on IVs and stuff like that.
So it's basically a rehydration issue. That's a big part of it.
Yeah. Tons of fluid. And they sent me home though.
Clear. Get in.
I went home that night.
And how long did you
I got back on the pull-up bar about a week and a half later. And then I broke the record 6 weeks later.
Wow. So when you did get back on the pull-up bar, it was bad. But what I do is like what I've done to everything, which isn't real smart. I mean, it works for me, so I'm not saying to do this. Is I've trained through a lot of my injuries. And I started developing, I started doing that in bugs, in SEAL training, because in SEAL training, you got to start from day one, or they just kick you out. So I started from day one enough. So my third time going through, I was really jacked up. Well, you had pneumonia.
Yeah, I had pneumonia, and I had really bad stress fractures. So my stress fractures, so I would put a sock on, and then duct tape my foot all the way up to the top of my, or to the mid of my ankle, or to the mid of my calf. And because my stress fracture was so bad, so like the pivot point between my ankle and my shin, I just casted that all the way up. And so I went through for several months, for a few months, with stress fractures. What was crazy about that is they healed. By the time I got to third phase, my stress fracture was gone. And I don't even know how, rhyme or reason behind it. I ran on them. A few months later, they were healed.
Wow.
So I don't know what that
you
means.
just pushed through the agony, and eventually your body just said, "This crazy fuck is not gonna stop."
It's a true statement. Yeah, it's weird. A lot of my injuries I've just pushed through, and I duct tape it up. I mean,
have you ever had to have surgery on any of them?
No, just a couple heart surgeries, but none of my actual physical body.
And what was your heart surgery for again? You talked about this before.
Yeah, right? ASD. I had a hole in my heart.
Yeah.
So we talked
about
even
more ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about that too, man. They took me off and stuck me for a while. So they realized that, my God, I shouldn't even been in the military. I wasn't even qualified to be in the military with a hole in my heart. let alone doing special operations and just stuff like that. So I was lucky.
How'd they seal that up?
So they went in with a helix patch, and through my femoral artery, and they went through, put a patch, and they realized I missed like 3 or 4 years of a military career because of this heart surgery.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was off of jump status, dive status. I was just so that's why I talk about recruiting so much. I stayed in recruiting for like 3 or 4 years, and I became like a Navy SEAL recruiter when I was doing this for a while. So I got extended there.
Other than that, you never had to have any other surgeries? No meniscus, no nothing like that? That's crazy.
No, and I've had some jacked up injuries. Let's see how I grew up. Like I talk about in the book, my dad didn't believe in taking me by the hospital. Like that's just how it was, man. It was barbarian stuff, man. But you learn to deal with it and you live it. You're fine. You get hard.
Get MRIs?
Oh yeah.
Get everything checked out?
Matter of fact, man, I was terrified of the MRI machine for a long time. I was claustrophobic. I was like, man, there's a lot behind that, man. But yeah, I've been checked out a lot. I've had so like I said, like 6 years ago, I started stretching out like I thought I was dying. I couldn't even get out of bed. So all that stretching out was from pretty much all these injuries I had that I never really fixed. And my body got knotted up and more knotted up and more knotted up. And it's going to heal. One way or another, it's going to heal. And when it heals, it's not going to heal right. It's going to heal all jacked up and crooked.
Yeah.
So I'm a crooked, jacked up dude. I can still get it done.
It's amazing that you haven't had like knee surgeries or anything like that. Consider all the running you've done.
My left knee right now is no pain. My right foot is messed up because of my left knee. So right now I'm taking care of my left knee. It's getting a lot better now. But don't worry, Cameron Hayes. I will still be fucking out there running with your ass. I'm not gonna get out of it, buddy. So if you're listening, motherfucker, I will see you this weekend. Merry Christmas. All right? Just so you know, brother. Merry Christmas. I'll see you soon.
You don't know what's wrong with your knee? You have no idea?
It's from stretching. So basically...
Stretching?
Yeah, so my whole... Because my body was in such bad alignment from what I did to it, that now I'm in this huge stretch routine. And my body's getting back into alignment. So your muscles, like I was a power lifter, man. Like I grew these huge muscles, and I'm a small guy. And from the stress of my body going through 3 hell weeks, and also my body became one knot. So as things start to open up, joints start to hurt, things start to get hurt. So it's been this big, long process. So I'm faster and better shape than ever. My organs work better. I'm healthier than ever. But I have these little tweaks here, these little tweaks there, from the fact that I am now, my body was locked into position from these muscles being so tight. Now,
what do you weigh now?
About 182, 183.
And you were at like 300 plus pounds.
My fattest, when I weighed in for the military, I don't know what my fattest was, but when I weighed in on that scale, when Steven Saljo hit that scale on me, man, it was 297. And he's like, brother, you got to lose 106 pounds. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, how's that possible? So anyway, it just,
And not a lot of time. That's the crazy thing. They didn't give you 3 months. That 33 pounds a month is a lot of fucking weight. Plus a few.
Almost impossible. And that's what I thought. But see, you see the person I am now. I was 175 pounds in high school. So I was a skinny guy in high school. So I made myself big. I'm a small boned person, so it was hard. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. But
what did people think around you when they saw you 3 months later, you were 100 pounds lighter?
My mom couldn't believe it. Because so I was living in Indianapolis, Indiana at the time. And so I was trying to study for this ASVAB test again, that, I got to take it again, going into the Navy. I'm out here trying to lose weight, and I'm working for this company, spraying for cockroaches and all sort of crap. And I would lay in her pond in fucking November in Indiana. Just lay in the pond, because I'm going to bust, I got to get hard. So I would lay in the pond, get out of the pond, and go for a run. Just all wet, cold, like the daggone shirt would freeze up from ice and shit. And I'd be out there running and said, what is wrong with you, man? Like, you were that kid who just didn't want to, like, what's wrong with you? So she started seeing the transformation, like, this guy is obsessed. Trying to become somebody.
The other jump.
Man, my God, you actually lost that much weight.
love the fact you did it, but what hurts me is when I hear stories about people that get like stomach stapling, surgery, and all that shit that they do. Like, you just need to wait. So many you would have earned it, and if you earn it, you'll keep it.
That's the thing about it, man. Like, we like to take these very quick fixes in life. We want the 6-minute abs approach to life.
Yeah.
Nah, man. There's no permanent in that.
Yeah.
There's no permanent in that, man. There's no scarring. There must be scarring.
Well, people are terrified of this thing that you're saying, that there's no end.
What?
That there's no finish line, that every day is a new thing, that you have to earn it. Still, after all the shit you've done, every day you get up and you have to earn it.
Yes. You know what's funny about that? I want you to be scared of it.
Yeah.
I want you to be
gives
scared
you
of it.
Fuel.
It's great motivation. And see, if you look at it that way, the reason why I speak the way I speak, because I believe in what I'm saying. If I ever shut it down, that's the end of me. And whatever my 100% will be, I don't know what's going to happen to me. Tomorrow, everybody's like, what if you can't run? I will figure what the fuck I can do and do that. That would be my new 100%. You must continue to find your new 100%. Whatever life throws at you, you must find what you can do now. I may become the best, scientist of all time. Who knows? Watch out. You know what I'm saying? Be scared. Watch out. Who knows?
Well, that is an approach, like this approach, this mental approach. You can use that for anything once you get past the quitting mechanism of your mind.
That's
Once you
right.
get past that thing, that this is applicable. You can take these lessons that you learn from these grueling runs,
Yes.
from this losing 106 pounds in 3 months, from all these different things of struggle.
Mm-hmm.
You can take these lessons of struggle and you can apply them to anything.
Yes. I talk about it in my book here about
What the
that race
fuck
I
is
did
this
that
shit?
made SEAL training look like
It's
a
amazing.
child's play in Ranger School. That first 100-miler I did, where I shit on myself and all kind of stuff. That 19 hours it took me with no training, I sum it up like this. You're talking about struggle, how you can put so much of life into struggle. In that 19 hours, I lived 5 years. 5 years of struggle, of happiness, of depression, success, failure in 19 hours. That's what's great about some of these things I do. You get a wide range of life in just 19 hours. Like when you get to like mile 50 in your mind saying, we got to get out of here, man. And then you get to like mile 60, okay, we're feeling good. You have all these highs and lows that you have to manage within this suck fest of 19 hours. And that's what I get from a lot of these different things, that human growth, growth of the mind. Without friction, there is no growth. Without friction, there's no growth.
There's no growth and there's no satisfaction. Like there's no people want to sit around and rest, but you don't really appreciate rest unless you earned it.
That's it. And people they think I'm the craziest person on the planet. You are so far fucking removed from that statement. It's not even funny. I was 290 pounds twice in my life. I do not like to do the things I do, but there's humongous satisfaction from doing it. There's humongous satisfaction from lacing your shoes up saying, I don't really want to go for a run today. And then running. And then getting back and saying, wow.
I did it.
I did it.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. It's about these small steps to doing things you don't want to do.
You know Jocko Willink?
I know him, yeah.
Jocko's
Don't know him great, but I know him.
I know him pretty well. He's awesome. But every morning, you look at that motherfucker's Instagram, he's got a picture of his watch at 4:30. He gets up at 4:30 every morning, and he earns his sunrise.
That's good stuff,
He works
man.
out like a motherfucker and then earns a sunrise.
That's good stuff.
But it's that thing, like there's no end.
No.
It doesn't end.
And it's scary.
That is scary
It's
for
scary.
people. Everybody wants that holding hands while the sun sets and
Oh.
the retirement. You're walking off into the sunset.
The biggest question I get is, so when do you rest? When do you recover?
Yeah.
And I don't want to scare people, but the truth answer is, I don't take any days off.
No days.
No days.
7 days a week.
7 days a week.
Well, like, what is a normal day?
Normal day for me, a normal day. So let's say a light day.
Light day.
Light day is at least a 7-mile run. I will every other day, so about 4 days a week, calisthenics plus gym workout. So I don't do any gym workout without hitting pull-ups, push-ups. I call it nickels and dimes. So like 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, or I'll go, quarters and whatever, like it's like 25 pull-ups and like 50 push-ups. So I have all these different things I mess up. So I will do weights with calisthenics, and every single night I stretch. For at least every night I stretch for at least 2 hours.
2 hours?
Every night. Every night.
So you stretch after you're done working out?
Yeah, so at nighttime, usually I'll be either in a quiet room, or I'll be watching TV. I love sports. Be watching the game, and I'm on the floor, man, and that's what I do.
So you just stretch while you're doing stuff?
I stretch while I do stuff.
2 hours is a long-ass time to stretch. Is this just because you're trying to correct all
I'm trying to correct
years of not doing that?
No, years of this.
Do you ever fuck with yoga?
A lot.
Yeah?
Yoga's the shit.
What do you do, hot yoga?
I have my own yoga. So I kind of invented my own little yoga for what my body needs. I've done hot yoga several times. Yoga's huge. Yoga's huge. Like holding those positions. And I'm big in holding them for a long period of time. So that's where my stretching is. Like people say, don't hold stretches for a long time. I hold them for a long period of time. 'Cause I'm trying to get full range of motion. A lot of people go in for like my shoulder's all messed up. I get surgery on it. Nah. If you don't have full range of motion in your body, don't go in and get cut on, man, until you know that your body is actually opened up. You know, we start to get knuckle dragger syndrome from doing all these push-ups. You never work your back, you know, like your rear delts. So here you are, you start hunching over. Before you know it, your joints are out of whack. You need to get full range of motion before you know how fucked up you truly are. So I'm always working on full range of motion like a kid. They run so effortlessly. They're always in full range of motion. As you get older and tighter and sit and more stressed, your body starts to get more and more tight. Therefore, your shoulders start to get out of balance and out of joint and out of socket. Therefore, you know, it's popping.
Yeah.
It's popping because you're fucking tight. Open it up first. Open it up. Can you touch your hands behind each other and raise them up behind you? You know, it's all these different ranges of motion that I got real smart on from a guy, and I took it to another level.
So do you work with a trainer, or do you always work out by yourself?
Everything I do, I've never had a trainer in my entire life.
Really?
Never. Not one time.
Do you read about physiology or exercise science or anything like that?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
But what about like when they learn new shit about new ways to, you know, enhance shoulder stability
Right.
or new exercises? You're not interested?
Nope. I don't I don't do it for that reason.
What do you do it for?
Still to this day, man. Still to this day, it is for me to become better mentally. How I look has just become I have thousands, hundreds of thousands of miles on this body, running, pull-ups, push-ups, swimming, whatever you want to call it. This body is what it is now. It's from repetition. It's not from studying, you know, hey, if you hold a plank for this long, fuck all that bullshit. I don't care about it. I just do it for my mind.
Right.
I want to continue to harden, because that's the only thing I want. That's what I want. I want to have that mind ready for life.
But you also want to increase your range of motion, like
Oh,
you said
yeah,
before.
range of motion's
You want to
huge.
make sure that you're not causing any additional injuries. Wouldn't you want to like stabilize some areas that maybe you feel like you might have weaknesses and find out new techniques to do that?
Have you seen me with my shirt off?
No.
Yeah. It's stable as fuck.
Oh, I saw you when you had your shirt off when you first came here. I walked in. Dave got here early, and by the time I got here, he was already doing chin-ups.
Yeah, it's stable. It's stable. You do some pull-ups, push-ups, man, that's some stable shit.
Yeah.
But you know, all that stuff is very important, honestly. Just all jokes aside, man. Full range of motion, getting your shoulder rotation, all that stuff is very important. I learned a lot about that coming up. I had a lot of people I worked out with that were real smart about all this stuff. I'm a real old school meat eater, like Bill Kazmaier type of lifter. Even though I don't look like it, back when I was that guy in the back of the skinny guy, that's what I did. And I got off really big into human performance, about the body, strength, fitness. That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a hybrid motherfucker. A guy that could run 200 miles and then go to the gym with your meathead who's scared of running, and lift with him. So that was my whole thing in life. I wanted to be the guy who can run 200 miles with the skinny guys and then go to the gym with the big meatheads and say, okay, load it up. Let's go. So that was my whole thing.
That's a very difficult thing to tie the two of them together. When you think most people, when you think ultra marathon runners or people that run long distances, they're very thin.
Right.
Very thin guys. Like when you were talking about the first time you ran 100 miles that you did deadlifts the night before, like that is just fucking preposterous. Nobody does that.
No, yeah. So me and the guy I talked about in the book, it's Silverback Gorilla is what I call him in the book. That's not his real name, obviously. But yeah, he saw me go into my car the night before my first 100-mile race, and it's like he called me out. Said, "Hey, Goggins, come here." When a Navy SEAL calls you out, got to push you through 3 hell weeks. You're like, you know what? Fuck, I got to go to the gym and lift heavy now. So we're doing squats, deadlifts, power cleans, heavy bench presses, and I'm thinking, I have to run 100 miles tomorrow. But I also knew he was coming out there to watch me. So I was like, you know what? You put me through 3 hell weeks. You were my instructor. So now it's my turn to educate you on what a human can do. Because I know you could be sitting there thinking while you're watching me with your wife and your kid, and you just worked out with me the night before. We went real heavy, did the heaviest shit, and we're sore. You're going to sit there while you watch me run around this 1-mile track. How the fuck is he doing that shit right now? We lifted heavy as hell, and he's running 100 miles and never has run past 20 miles in his life. I use that for a lot of fuel. So that gym workout, Mr. Silverback Gorilla, there was a lot for my mentality that brought with me. 'Cause I knew I would see you. And he came at mile 50 with a package of 6 donuts that I chomped up with the quickness. So I used that workout for a lot of motivation. I knew he'd see me. I know he'd be thinking about it.
How'd you not get rhabdo that day?
You know what? I don't know what I got that day, but I talk about it in the book again, that when I went home that night or that morning, that was single-handedly, nothing even close. I'm 43 years old now. There's nothing even close to that pain. I knew for a fact I wasn't going to get out of that tub. I knew I was done. I was, talk about dehydrated, no nutrition. I was eating Ritz crackers and Mileplex. That was the worst pain I'd ever experienced in my entire life. I was pissing Coca-Cola out of me. It was bad. It was bad.
She probably did have rhabdo.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I guarantee I was
pissing
bad.
Coca-Cola. That's
Coca-Cola.
No bueno.
Yeah, no bueno, son. It was bad. And my ex-wife was like, fuck. And she's a nurse.
Yeah.
And she called my mom up, and mom had her friend there was a doctor friend of hers, said, "Hey, you got to give him to the doctor immediately." And I was like, "Hey, you got to give me that fucking phone. I got to call up Chris Kosman, let him know I did 100 miles so I can get in the bad water." It didn't go as like I planned, but I did get in the bad water after another race. But
didn't you do a marathon like how
Yes.
long later?
So basically, I had never run a marathon.
Right.
I did the 100-mile race first, no training. But I had signed up for the marathon because it's the first Las Vegas marathon running down the strip of Las Vegas. So Las Vegas had a marathon, but this is the first time it's going to go down the strip. 2005, I'm like, hey, I'm going to sign up for it. I went on to Iraq, did deployment. When I come back, I'll be training for it, and I'll go do this race with my family. Me, my ex-wife, and my mom signed up for it. So in Iraq, me and my boy, Sledge, in the book, we're just working out. We're doing crazy workouts. And my cardio was 20 minutes every Sunday on the elliptical trainer. That's the only cardio I did. So I call myself training for this marathon, right? So then, my boys got killed in that incident that happened, lone survivor, the whole Operation Red Wings. So that's what prompted me to do the 100-mile race. After the 100-mile race in November, it was like 2 or 3 weeks later, that marathon that we all signed up for that I didn't train for the 100-mile race, didn't do train at all for this. Like, hey, I'll drive there with you all. Because I tried to run the day before. Like, I can't even run down the block. So I didn't do it. So we're driving to the race. I said, hey, Mom, my mom's going to walk it. I said, I'm going to walk it with you. My ex-wife, I said, you can go ahead and take off, do your thing, run your race. I'm going to walk with my mom. That gun went off, and something fucking happened. I took off. I was like, what? I took off like a jackrabbit. Gone. I was like, what the hell? So I was thinking the whole time, I was like, man, I just ran 100 miles like 3 weeks ago, like first time ever. I was peeing blood and pissing shit on myself. I go, my body's broken. My Achilles and my tendons and my feet are broken. I go, what is this? And every time I started running further and further, I go, okay, I got to the 10K. I'm on Boston Marathon time. Because I knew the Boston Marathon was like 3:10:59 for my age. I'm like, hang on a second. And then I started using all this external shit for motivation. Like, okay, who the fuck can go out here and run 100 miles, no training? And then I'm broken. Most broken I've been in my life. And now I'm running a marathon. Who could do it? So I started just feeding myself. I get to half the mile. I'm about 30 seconds off the pace. I said, hang on, man, you're Goggins. You can do this shit, man. And I started just feeding myself. You can do this. Before I knew it, man, I got to like the last 6 miles, and I was off the pace, and I just kicked it. And next thing I knew, I did like a 3:08 and change. I was like, and that was like, what the fuck? What have I been leaving on the table?
Right.
I've been leaving so much on the fucking table for pain. And that's when I started like going crazy about the mind. Like, what the hell am I, like, what is up? Like, it opened these different doors of like possibility and like, what is humanly possible? What are we capable of? Like, you know, people, I didn't even know. I was just amazed by what I was able to do by a simple fact of just reasoning and working with pain and pain management. And my mind just kept on growing from there. And it happened in Hell Week. It happened in the 100-mile race. It happened here. It started just evolving into what it is now, to where now I'm like, God, dog, man, the mind, we are leaving so much on the table. But people take me, he cusses so much, he sounds crazy. Don't listen to all that shit, man. Just cut out the bullshit. Cut the bullshit. Just get to the weeds of that. You are fucking yourself up by not examining your brain. You're not examining your brain. Message it. That's done. You examine your fucking brain, and that takes some hard work and suffering. If you're not willing to do that, I'm sorry.
And it seems like there's no way to do that as a bystander.
No, you can't watch it, man.
Yeah.
You gotta get out there and be like, oh, this hurts. This hurts real fucking bad. I don't think this is smart. And then, guess what happens? The body will adjust. It will adjust. And everybody goes, well, then the next question I get, but is there a time when it doesn't adjust? What the fuck? I get some of the stupidest shit, man. Like, don't take it with a grain of fucking salt, people.
Those questions are people that are wanting to quit.
Yes. And that's what I say.
When should I quit?
Yeah, like, did you ever like feel like, no, shut the fuck up. Stop. I don't want to, like that. There's always that next question. No, don't take it like go out there and run through a brick wall as many times as you can. No, I'm not saying be me. Don't run 205 miles at one time. I'm not saying do that. I'm saying start to learn the mind is powerful. It's powerful, man. It's unbelievable.
But people need a thing to get them going, right? They need a thing.
Right.
They need a goal. They need a like it's sometimes the first step is the hardest.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's hard to take that 1 million step too, but sometimes the first step is the most. There's something about the. What do I do? They start going over their phone. They start calling people. They don't get out of the house. Like
Right.
And there's something about procrastination. It's like, you know, it's painful.
Oh, yeah.
You know you should be doing things, but you just keep doing it. You keep itching that scab.
I procrastinate like a motherfucker, man, every day. I don't want to do this shit. That's what's so funny, man. People looking like I'm some damn superhero that came down from the gods, from the heavens of earth. No, man. I don't want to do this shit. I'm looking at my shoes for 30 minutes sometimes thinking, man, fuck, man, people look up to you, Goggins. Fuck them. I don't want to do this shit. I'm like, I want to do this shit, man. But guess what?
You do it.
I'm going to do it.
As long as you do it.
And that's what I know about it, man. That's why I stopped doing it. I'm thinking, oh, man, you're going to fucking sit here. You look at your shoes for 30, 40 minutes. You're going to go. You're going to think about it all day long. And you're going to do it anyway.
And sometimes you don't have the time to look at your shoes for 30 minutes.
No.
Those are the beautiful days.
Yes.
But you know you just have to go.
That's right.
And so, like, there's no room for procrastination.
And that's when I was in the military, I loved my schedule. Because I knew I had to be working 7 o'clock. So you better get your ass up at 4 o'clock, man. You got to get your shit in, brother. Because I had to get my shit in before I got my shit in.
Right.
You know? So that was my mentality back then, man. You know, like I had to get the miles and get everything in, man. And get to work, man. I'm competing with the alpha males.
Yeah, but how much did that piss other alpha males off. That you were imposing a very high bar.
I was a very misunderstood human being when I was in the military. The Air Force guys liked me a lot. The Rangers liked me a lot. So much not to see.
They were with
They didn't like me so much, which is fine. You know, I respect them. I think a lot of them respect. I have a lot of friends in the SEAL teams, a lot of guys that like-minded mentalities. And once again, man, I grew up and I got over it. A lot of guys still have, you know, like a lot of people can't get over the fact of whatever. When I became a SEAL recruiter, a lot of guys thought I wasn't deploying for a lot of reasons and whatnot, and I heard a lot. I was that guy who grinded. I grinded hard. I mean, I grinded hard. I was that guy who was up, like if we went on an op or we had a workup, let's say we had a workup, we were in an island, we're out there shooting guns and doing land warfare, and we did it till like 1 o'clock in the fucking morning. Most everybody go to sleep. I didn't go to sleep. I went to the gym and I worked out. Or I'd go to sleep, let's say we'd be up at 5 o'clock. I was up at 4 o'clock and got my hour in. I made sure to always do that. And I did it to a point to where I think it pissed some people off because I wasn't a quiet person about it. You know, I wasn't the most humble person always. You know, so when you're around alpha males, you're sometimes picking a fight, you know, all the time. And I look different, I acted different, I was different, I am different. I take a lot of pride in that. And so, you know, if you didn't get after it, I didn't respect you. Because I believe that, you know, where I'm at, I know that human potential is what we have. It's all we have. The world sees us a certain way. And when I saw that people weren't doing that, I had a funky ass fucking attitude. And I own it in my book. I come back from Ranger School a big time leader. I was a big time fucking leader. I got honor man out there. I led by example. And what I realized a lot of times when you're in these schools, people want to graduate these schools because they suck. They don't want to ever go back to these schools. Those schools became my fucking life. People don't want to see a fucking guy that wants to go back to day one, week one, of fucking Navy SEAL training every fucking day. That's how I live. And it's a disgusting human being that I can be. It is. And a lot of people didn't like me. A lot of fucking people started some stupid shit and started saying this and that. The bottom line, man, is my fucking resume says it all, man. My resume's out there. Google the motherfucker. You say whatever you want to say about me, man. I missed some deployments, man, for having fucking, you know, 2 heart surgeries, and people try to start some rumor shit on me, man. You started rumor shit on me, man, because I fucking got the fuck after it. And real hard guys, like a guy named Hoss I talk to all the time. Yeah, he's a great friend of mine. When the heart's my first, before my heart surgery, my second heart surgery, I went on a 10-mile ruck run. Before my second heart surgery, the day of it, I went on a 10-mile ruck run, 50 pounds. I saw that guy. He's like, what the fuck are you doing out here? We got heart surgery. Roger that, brother. I'm getting it in before I'm be out for about 6 months after the heart surgery. That was my mentality. Because I started realizing at a young age what I was leaving on the table. And once I found out what a human being is capable of, I didn't know how to control that. I was a fucking, you want to talk about fucking savage? That's what I was. I was a fucking straight up, people talk about savage very lightly. I was fucking from the backwoods motherfucking savage, dude. You know, and I told you what I thought. I had 8 chips on my shoulder. And a lot of times that wasn't great.
So is it a situation where, like with the SEALs, where once you've gotten through buds, once you've gotten through all the physically grueling parts of getting to be accepted, once you're in, then you were imposing standards that they didn't want to keep up with?
I would say some people. You know, I had one platoon that I had a problem with. You know, like I graduated Ranger School and I got in this platoon and I didn't see eye to eye because I was in charge of a PT program, and you put me in charge of the PT program is fucking your ass. And I didn't like it either. I didn't want to do this shit either, man. But
what were you making them do?
Like, you know, like it was some Navy, it was some bud shit. You know, we went back to buds, like, you know, log PTs and, you know, carrying logs over the berms and shit. And like, I had us do like pull-ups, rope climbs, pull-up like for like an hour. So imagine doing a rope climb and then going to do like 10 to 15 pull-ups coming back. And we would do like these, they were very hard workouts. Like there was no like go to the gym, lift some weights type of shit. And I was imposing my own mentality on everybody. These are grown ass fucking men. They don't want to be what I'm trying to make them be. And when they called me off, they're like, hey, we're not in SEALs, we're not in Buds anymore, Goggins. It pissed me off. And I got a little fucking attitude, got my chip, I got my ball, and me and Sledge went ahead and started to work out together. And we developed this, like, me and Sledge work out like fucking animals, and we had this fucking mentality of, fuck yeah, we're getting after it every day. And everybody kind of did their own thing, man. And that's when I started looking at people, not just SEAL, but people very differently, man, because I bit into, like, like to be the special operator, you gotta have broken legs. These guys, all those stories. I was the same guy, man. I put people on a pedestal. I put people. I could never be there. I could never be that guy, man. Never put anybody on a pedestal. That's what happened to me. I put them on a pedestal, and once I got up there with them, and I saw them. And once again, not everybody. Some hard motherfuckers out there, dude. Period. Hard motherfuckers. I thought every motherfucker was hard. Hey. Yeah.
Uncommon amongst uncommon men.
That's all it was about for me, man. And I took it to another level, and I pissed a lot of motherfuckers off. And they were trying to find chinks in my armor then. They were trying to find chinks in my armor. All he does is run. All he does is fucking run. That's why, but once again, I don't talk about the military too much. Like I said, the Air Force love me. The Army guys I work with love me. The Ranger School, all that stuff love me. I wasn't, it's just what it is, man. It's I was part of the Navy SEALs. I was a team guy, but I wasn't part of the brotherhood. And that's just me, man. That's just me. It ain't saying nothing bad about them. I got a lot of love for a lot of them. A lot of men got love for me, but I ain't gonna talk bad about them. It's just, I'm different. That's when I figured out. I'm different from everybody in the fucking world. And I had to own that and say, you know what, man, you made a lot of fucking mistakes being who you are. And I should have been more of a leader at times. But a lot of times, a lot of people should have been a little bit harder too.
So was it that some of those guys just didn't want to work as hard, or was it just that they weren't appreciating how competitive you were? You were always against them. Is that what it was? That it didn't foster the sense of brotherhood because you were more like, "Come on, pussy."
I didn't really call them pussies, but you can look at my face and how I looked at you, and you can kind of say this, So what happens? I started developing this separation. Another thing about me too, man, is I don't go out. I don't party. I don't hang out with the guys. I don't, so I was always forming this kind of separation. I'm a big time introvert. I do my job and I don't want to see your fucking ass again. I'm gonna go home, refresh, and we'll see you again. You're in a platoon with these guys for two years, sometimes a year and a half. And I would, we work up, do our shit, and I was just a different fucking cat. I'm a different cat, man. Like I think differently. I believe differently. And I believe strongly in what I believe in.
Well, some people must appreciate the fact that you were self-motivated and that you were pushing the envelope, that you were pushing the pace, you were setting a high bar.
Yeah, I have a lot of guys right now within the community. A lot of guys. Once again, this is like. It's like a big soap opera sometimes, man. When you're in a fraternity like that, that's what it's like, man. So I had to get a different vantage point, look at it, and see a lot of guys did respect who I was and what I did, and I brought it fucking hard a lot and every day, but I also rubbed people the wrong way. I'm like that itch you're talking about. I'm like that itch. You want to scratch the fuck out of my ass, you know what I'm saying? You want to fuck this dude, man.
I love what you talked about. When you ran the marathon, you realized how much you were losing on stage. That is, I think the unfulfilled potential is the story of most people's lives.
It is. And it could have been the story of mine. And I tell a lot of people go, what's your biggest fear in life? And my biggest fear, honestly, was, let's say this. Let's say, I don't care if you believe in God or not. I don't care. So let's just play a game with me. Let's say you're God. And we have a big fucking long line of people. And I made it to heaven. I'm 75 years old. I'm 300 pounds. I made it to heaven. I worked for Ecolab my entire life, spraying for cockroaches. That's what I did. but I'm dead. I'm in heaven now. And you're judging us all now. So we're in line. We're all sitting there in line. You have Adam Brown. He has a big board up, and you're talking to Adam Brown about his life. And you rip it down, and I'm next in line, David Goggins. I see my name. I see all this shit. And God goes, hey, you say, read this, man. And I'm reading this list. I'm seeing 182 pounds, Navy SEAL, Ranger School, motivational speaker, changing lives. Okay, man, pull-up record, all this shit. And I'm like, that's not me, man. And God looks at me and says, that's who you were supposed to be. And my biggest fear, I visualize some crazy shit. My biggest fear is that one day I'm gonna reach a judgment of my life. Something's gonna judge me what the fuck I was supposed to be in life. And what I want now is that whoever judged me up there, I want them to have a board and them up there right now getting their pen out. Because, this person who judges is supposed to know everything. It's supposed to know from the time you're dead to the time you're, time you're born, time you're dead. I want this person up there to be like this, up there writing more about me, saying, "Fuck, I know you should. I know you do that.
Holy
I know
shit!
you do that." So I want to impress whatever the fuck is up there, whatever's going on in life. I want to go up there and not have anything left on the table.
This motherfucker's
I
actually
want to
taking
drain
shit.
my soul of every fucking bit of person I am.
Now, how do you plan on doing that, going forward in the future? Do you have a plan?
Yeah, so what I did, I believe in going back to scratch. So a lot of us, like right now, I've come a long way in my life. I've had to grow up a lot, accept a lot of the fucking things I've done in my life. I'd accept a lot. I took all this information, big database, took it all. So what got me to be where I'm at today is data. I collect even more data now, which is why I can write this book, which I can tell people, hey, I fucking have a lot of faults. I have a mentality that can sometimes rub people the wrong, all this shit. So how you get better is, so right now, I'm way up here now. I was way down here. But what makes you way up here is being from way down here. So I love going back. I call it, so when I was growing up for like 3 years, so from the time I was 8 to the time I was like 12, we lived in a $7 a month place. And what I call it is I'm always paying rent in that $7 a month home. Every day of my life. I go back and revisit that place, because that place made me this Garanimal. That place made me this hard man. And then from that place, so that place is hard work. That place is going back to the fundamentals of life. The fundamentals of what made David Goggins. Going back in there, going back to the library of David Goggins, studying even more than what I know, taking that out, going back to where I'm at now, and then moving forward. So I believe in always taking steps backwards to your roots. We cannot forget the roots and what made us the Garanimal. We can never become civilized.
Isn't a Garanimal that like little kids' clothes?
It's little kids' clothes, but I love the word. I don't know if it's clothes or drinks. I don't know if it's clothes or drinks, man, but something like that.
So when you're living like right now, like what kind of goals are you setting? How are you feeding that beast inside of you? How are you calming all that down?
Stretching's helped a lot. So when you wire yourself up so much, yoga and stretching has really helped me to you want to be quiet in your mind to see where you want to go, because noise is the ultimate kryptonite.
Yeah.
Too much noise in your mind, you're not going to be focused on what the task at hand is.
It's one of the things that I found that like long cardio is the best thing ever for calming that noise.
Yes.
We all talked about that, all the guys that I did that Sober October thing with, the fitness challenge, that like if you work out 5 hours a day, you don't give a fuck.
No.
It's amazing. I'm like, if you could take that and put it in a pill form, how you feel about life after you work out 5 hours.
Yep.
You don't give a fuck. Nothing bothers you. Like,
Nothing.
Fuck you.
Nothing.
Because you've struggled.
True. My fiance right now, she's like, hey, I got X, Y, and Z. I'm like, I'll take you. She's like, what? You want to look at shoes? I'll take you. I said, what? I'm like, I just worked out for 4 hours, man. I fucking sit down in this motherfucking chair all day long, son.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm chill.
It's different.
Yeah, I get all that shit out. I wring the rag out in the morning time, and whatever you want to do, I'm here, man.
Most people never get there though.
No.
They always have that chatter.
Always.
Always negative anger of the guy who cut you off yesterday at 3
all
o'clock,
day
still
long.
in your head.
Yep, all day long, man.
Yeah.
Chatter.
Chatter,
all day
chatter,
long.
chatter. Maybe I should do this. I should have never let that guy get away with that.
Exactly.
I should have done this. I should have taken that job.
Yep.
Oh, I should have moved. I should have stuck with her. I should have done all that.
That was me, man.
Yeah,
That was
a
me.
lot of people.
Yeah. Why don't
It's
people like me? What the fuck?
amazing that long cardio just calms that chatter like that, though.
Yes.
Like I never until October. I never really done long cardio every day.
It beats that testosterone up, man.
Beats everything up.
Yeah, that you're like fucking done.
Yeah.
You're cool.
Yeah.
You're cool, man.
It's not just that. It's like I always talk about people's brains that I think that the way people's minds work, that we're like a battery that's like leaking out. It's like since we don't use it, because we have all this potential, we don't use it, like it oozes off the top of the battery and it gets messy.
Right.
It's going down the sides of the battery. It's all fucked up.
Yep.
But when you just drain that bitch, like nature intended, like give you the potential to run away from predators, avoid invading tribes, and to fight and gather and hunt, and all the physical potential that your body is capable of. When you do drain it with like a 10-mile run or
Right.
long cardio session, long workout session, then you can just be you.
It's the great purge, man.
The purge.
It's the purge. You purge all that fucking demon shit out, man. All the evil. Evil can't stay in a 10-mile run, bro. It's gonna get leaked right the fuck out.
It does. It gets pounded out.
Pounded out.
Yeah, but you can see things more clearly, and that is only available through effort. I mean, maybe it's available through meditation. I don't know, but I feel like there's a different thing that's available through effort, because there's also a satisfaction of accomplishment.
Oh yeah. Effort's huge, man. It means everything. Because you gotta feel good about yourself.
Now, do you plan out your future?
I do. So I'm very goal. So I have that accountability mirror, but I also plan out all my small, big time, medium goals, all these things I have to do in life. I'm a big planner. I'm a big planner. So, right now I'm going back to scratch. So I'm trying to be a wildland firefighter. I did that for a couple seasons.
You can do that now?
Yeah, so I did it for 2, not full season, but 2 half seasons. So this year was my second year doing it. I had to stop about 2 months before it ended because of this book, to start promoting the book and start finishing the book up. But I've been doing that for 2. That's some fucking work, man. Those fucking guys get after.
What made you decide to do that?
The work, like when your hands stop becoming really calloused, it's time to get back to work. Like I retired from the military. I did 21 years in the military. The military was my life. Loved everything about it, the discipline of it. There's something about going back, and the money you make is nil. It's not about the money at all. It's just about the hard work. I've always been looking for those people, like those guys, like you're out there digging a 3-mile fire line, literally a 3-mile fire line. You're cutting down these fucking huge ass trees to dig this fire line, and the fire line is like 20 to 18 inches for 3 miles. And you got like fucking 12 people digging this shit. And I'm out there thinking, man, this is some of the hardest fucking work I've done in my life. And it's that challenge that you can't find sometimes by going to the gym or by running, a 100-mile race. It's that new challenge of like, hey, and you get done digging, all right, you work 17 hours, 16, 17 hours, you get your fucking little fucking sleeping mat out, shack down, boom, right there on the floor, right there on the ground, get up, dig some more. Be out there 2-3 weeks sometimes, man, just doing that shit. And there's great satisfaction in the kind of work that you do out there. No one's watching. No one gives a fuck. It's hard, dangerous fucking work. And, you're doing it to help shit out, man,
How did you get drawn into that?
So I got drawn into it because I was always looking for the next challenge. And I was like, hey, what is there after the military? What the fuck is there, man? I'm 43. I'm getting back in shape, I'm fucking getting these health issues taken care of that I had. And I started, once again, Google's amazing shit. Hardcore fucking jobs, pretty much, hard ass fucking, that's how I found the horse, like the first race, hardest races in the world. So basically I started finding this wildland firefighting. Like, what the fuck is wildland firefighting? Started Googling that, started Googling smoke jumpers. I'm like, what the fuck these guys do? What? They jump out of planes and attack small fires? I'm like, that's the shit. So I'm like, okay, we could put down a list. And Okay, hot shots. What's a hot shot, dude? They go out with, big fires and they dig fire line. I'm like, fuck, what's dig fire line? And I saw a video of it. I'm like, that shit looks like it sucks. It's hot. You're out there on your own. You're out there on your own, man, just digging fire lines. So that's kind of how I found it. I'm always looking for the next challenge. I'm never satisfied with, I did that. Like, I became a SEAL. I was an Air Force guy. I became a SEAL. I went to Ranger School. I tried out for Delta Force twice. I'm always looking for what is next, looking for those uncommon men and women, uncommon people, because I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to grow. And a lot of times, you don't want to be the only person that's making yourself grow. You're looking for those Cameron Haneses, those Joe Rogans, those people who are like just different. People who understand what the fuck you're saying, because a lot of things I have to say, I can't say them all. You may not understand them. So I had to really find a way to communicate with people so they don't think, oh my God, like, what? What did you just say? So these Cameron Haneses, these Joe Rogan, these people get it. So I go in those little nuclear spots, get a little more strength, get a little more knowledge, get a little more tools. Take those tools with me, put them in my tool shed, and I go off down the road on a new journey. So that's what I do.
Well, the proof is in the pudding if you're really doing woodland firefighting, because there's no glory in that.
No, sir.
No, there's no fame. There's no one taking pictures of you.
That paycheck is small. I'm gonna fucking make you want to. Yeah. Should I eat today?
Wow.
Yeah. There's nothing involved in that, man. They work their ass off.
So, but you're just doing it as a challenge.
That's it.
Do they freak out when you're there?
You know what? I think they're wondering, why is a 43-year-old retired man, all the stuff you've done, why are you out here?
Yeah.
And I explain it to them when I'm out here. I'm out here to learn from you all, to grow, and also to never forget where I came from. That's where it starts. It's that mentality of, I'm going to pick up that fucking Pulaski and I'm going to dig this fucking fire line for 3 damn miles. That's that mentality I never want to lose. I never want to get so nice with, oh, yeah, I did it, man. I did it. I'm good. That mentality of, I'm willing to pick up that shovel and I'm willing to dig a 3-mile line, there's something about that mentality that I'm ready to go to work at any time. And that's what keeps me, those are the sparks. Like, I look at motivation as just a spark. It's like kindling. How a big fire starts, it starts with a little smoke. It starts with a little cigarette being thrown in the woods. Next thing you know, all California's fucking burn up. That's what I've been doing my whole life, is I find these little sparks. And once that little thing takes off, that's a 1-hour fuel. Then you got 10-hour fuel. Then you can move that thing to a 10,000-hour fuel. These big logs and big trees that burn for days. And that's where you want to bring that motivation. That's where you want to bring that drive. So if you have no kindling, the kindling is you going out with these young guys saying, all right, motherfucker, you're 43. It's a 20-year-old. Keep up with them. That kindling now, when I leave those young guys, it has now become that 10-hour fuel. And now that 10,000-hour fuel that I use throughout my whole life. I use that throughout my whole life, man. Hey, this summer at 43, you went out there and you did that, man. So, you're not giving up yet. You're not done yet. Not today. You're not done today.
That's a crazy choice to make, though. Woodland firefighter is a very interesting choice.
It is. It is. It's a nasty job, man.
Because, again, that's proof of concept. Like, you're really just doing just for the struggle.
That's it.
Is there other things you considered like that?
So I applied for smoke jumping this year. So I'll be out smoke jumping this year, God willing. That's where it's at now. That right now is the next military. That's the next military. And it's always about human growth. It's not about money. Not about money. Human growth. That's the biggest, like I said, my biggest trophy. That's why I turned down $300,000. The biggest trophy in life is what I've learned. Like this brain. If I could put this brain in somebody's head and say, here you go, Merry Christmas, they'd be a happy person. What I found out is that with no crowds, no one cheering for you, no races, no finish line, it's an amazing, amazing thing I've learned in my mind by no one cheering you on. Like what that is every morning I do what I do, I don't have a trainer waking me up. There's no one saying, David, you have to do this. I don't have to do anything anymore. I've done it. That's the beauty of all this. Knowing that everything I talk about, no one even knows what the fuck I'm doing every day. And I know that I am grinding like a motherfucker. They see a 1 minute video of me running or some bullshit. Hopefully it motivates you. Merry Christmas. Dude, I'm out there for fucking hours every fucking day and no one sees what the fuck I'm doing. No one. It's a great, beautiful thing, man.
That is the beautiful thing about it, right? That you really are just doing it for the benefits of it.
That's it.
That you have to do it that way. It's not for show. Like, there's a lot of people, like Casila, they have like a little video they do on Instagram. Like, bitch, you are not doing that for very long.
No.
You're going too fast.
That's it. That's it.
This is not real.
I got my 1 minute on.
Yeah.
Tape now.
Yeah, exactly. It's so much of it for show.
Right.
I do enjoy those videos that you're doing on Instagram, though, where
I
you're
appreciate
giving like
it.
these little motivational things. I put some of them up on my page.
I appreciate you, man.
reposted it. Those are great, man. Like, are you just like, do you just get a thought in your head while you're out there running and you just want to get it down?
Yeah, so what I'll do is my fiance does all these videos, man. So God bless her. Sometimes it'll be 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. And I'll be working out. And I say, hey, wake the fuck up. I got some shit. And she's like, what? I go, hey, man, it came to me, man. I got some shit for these people, man. So that's what happens. Like, usually when I'm working out, I get this great inspiration. Some people might think it's bullshit, but my mind works best under extreme pain and suffering. Like, I'm like, God, I want to be out here. And that's when I'm going deep into the cellar of my mind. And that's when all that gargoyle shit starts to come up, man. You know what I'm saying? And so she gets called out all the time, like, hey, I'll run home and say, hey, get the car, meet me at 17th Street, because by that time, I have all my shit together. So that's how this happens, man. It's not like a rehearsed thing. That's why sometimes I may post on Monday. Usually it's like every Monday, but sometimes it's Tuesday, sometimes it's Thursday. You know, and that's what I do. I'm trying to now give back to people in a way that's real and authentic and just being me.
What has the response been like? Like, after you did the podcast the first time, what was the response like? And what is the response like on social media?
Well, what's crazy, man, is that you are my Usher and I'm fucking Bieber. That's the fucking response, man. So your crowd, for some reason, they resonate with me. They understand. They get me, and they love the message. And like, so if you put some bullshit up on my site, I block and delete your ass. This ain't a playground. Like my site, I'm not fucking around with you motherfuckers. I want to give you some tools that I learned. If you want to take them, take them. If not, Merry Christmas. I'll go on my merry way. I don't care. So if you go on there, you want to play around, and you want to, you know, what they call it, those people go on
Troll.
site. Troll. Fuck, you ain't trolling my shit. I'm going to block your monkey ass off my shit quick. I've developed...
Tell your friends, Jamie.
Yeah, tell them. So I've developed like a small community of people who can go in there, and it's not just me talking. So people have now joined in, and I've seen people lose 150 pounds on my site, man. Like, and they're writing about it, and they're starting to break themselves down like I broke myself down. They're like, hey, I went through this divorce, and this happened, and I tried to kill myself. It gets raw, and then people are now going on and commenting on their shit, saying, hey, keep it up, do what you're doing. It's become like a big fucking, like, hey, it's a community of people trying to fucking get better. And that's what it's about, man. This ain't about the David Goggins fucking show. No, man, I'm Mr. Kinley. You motherfuckers take this shit and let this shit burn.
Also, you probably need all these other people out there grinding too for fuel.
Oh, man.
You want to know.
That's the thing now. Like, people go, what motivates you now? What motivates me now is that there's over 600 some odd thousand people looking at me saying, motherfucking Goggins is somewhere out there. He's somewhere out there fucking getting after it. And I am. So you ain't never fucking alone. I'm out there somewhere, 600 some thousand people. There's a chance that when you're working out, I don't care if you're in fucking Washington, D.C. and I'm in Nashville, there's a good chance at the same time we're getting after it. And I want people to know that, and it's the real deal. We are getting after it together. Not no like happy family shit, but we're getting after it. You know?
Yeah, well, that's giant for people, man. That the sense of community and to know that there's like-minded folks out there that are also trying to improve. They're trying to overcome their own demons, get past their own bullshit, squash their own weaknesses, callous up their own minds.
I love that. You know, it's not time for some soft shit. It's not time for soft shit, man. This isn't the fucking playground. Don't come on my Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter talking some bullshit. Come on, if you wanna join the community and get hard and see what you're about, don't talk about rest. You know, how do you do it? No, let's fucking stop thinking so much and let's put the shoes on and get grinding.
You do get some of that, though. There's some comments that say, you know, this is terrible advice. Rest and recovery is the most important thing.
Oh, my God. Block. Delete. You ain't on my shit, son. You're not going to last. Not on my site.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that shit.
There's a lot of people looking for built-in excuses.
They are, man.
They are. They're looking for it. But then there's a lot of people also that are just really interested in personal growth. They're interested in really finding out what they're made of. They're interested in improving their ability to toughen up and to discipline themselves. And they're looking for people like you and other people just to add to that momentum. Right. Once you get going, it's easier to keep going.
That's it, man.
Once you get going, it's easier to keep showing up.
It is. It is. You have to get past that hurdle.
Yeah.
And once you get past it, man, you're flying.
And then you see other people that are doing it too, and you realize like this is a movement. There's a lot of other people out there.
It is a movement.
Yeah.
It is a movement.
Well, that's the thing that resonates with you, I think, about the audience of this podcast, that I've had quite a few people on that have that same message, and it resonates with people because we're all trying to improve ourselves. No one's perfect.
Nope.
I'm not perfect now. I never will be. You're not, and you never will be, but you're better than you were yesterday, and you're going to be better tomorrow.
That's the true statement right there, man. And that's what that book says. I am not fucking perfect, man. But I had the balls to now finally tell you all, I am very flawed.
But in that saying that you're very flawed and saying that you're very perfect, you exhibit way more strength than someone who bullshits and pretends.
Right.
Someone who puts up some fake-ass fucking fake facade of perfection, of moral integrity and growth and honesty, and those people are a real problem.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
How the fuck do you... I did it for a while. I'm like, I can't... Hey, I'm fucked up. I give up. I quit. I'm fucked up. I'm going to tell you all, I can't do this anymore. This is who I am.
But the confidence of you of constantly grinding and constantly putting in that work is what leads you to be able to express yourself so honestly.
Oh, you're right. I for the first time, believe in David Goggins. And I don't care who else believes in me. I don't care. For the first time in my life, man, I can tell you all my fucked up shit. And without lying.
That's powerful.
No longer care.
That's powerful. See, everybody could get to that.
Why the fuck?
Don't need any. None. You don't like me?
Oh,
Merry
fuck,
Christmas.
kämpa vad det sensu.
Shit. Kwanzaa.
Keep moving.
That's it. Go.
Yeah.
That's it.
Good luck to you. Keep moving.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're all in this thing together. Yeah, but you got your own path. You're the one who has to stare at those shoes for 30 minutes.
That's it. Every day. That's so true, man. That's so true.
So fire jumping and woodland firefighting. I didn't expect that. I didn't hear that coming.
Yeah.
That's interesting, man.
Yep.
And what did you have any other options that you were looking at before you dived into those?
You know what? Those are the first two that came up because I saw how hard it was. You know, like at 43 in these jobs, like in the military, you're a dinosaur, time to retire. And wildland firefighting, you know, you start to move into these desk jobs. Mm-hmm. And that was the challenge of it. You know, I'm like a fucking rookie at 43.
Right.
So I'm like being talked like a little bitch. So it takes a lot for me. You know, I'm like, yeah, I've done some things, man. Hang on now. But I have to now humble myself again.
Right.
It's hard to humble yourself. You got some 21-year-old little punk-ass bitch saying, hey, pick up that shit and come on. I'm like, what the fuck did you say? I'm like, you know, but I'm like, okay, Goggins, like, you're a rookie, man. Like, so that's all the training behind the mindset of it all. Right. Is that you can't ever be the point where you never learn from people. Right. You know, you have to always humble yourself and go back to that. Yeah, you know, like right now, there's people listening to this podcast, like, oh, yeah, you're great, Goggins. No, you ain't shit, Goggins. And that's the mindset I always want to have. Not like I'm not proud of myself, but you have to always keep that, like, I want to keep that dog. And I can't always know everything.
Yeah, well, being a beginner is fantastic.
It's amazing.
Learning new things is fantastic for everything else.
So much growth in that.
Do you fuck around with martial arts?
You know what? I learned a little bit. I've never gone crazy in it. I've never gone crazy. I boxed a little bit.
Where do you live?
I live in Nashville.
A lot of jiu-jitsu in Nashville. You should get involved in jiu-jitsu. You would take to it like a duck to water. I'll find you a spot.
Yeah, 100%. Hook me up. Yeah, hook me up, man.
You get obsessed with that shit.
Oh, God.
Because that's a never-ending pile of fucking tank. bodies and strangle people.
Here we go.
Because it's something that you just get better at all the time, and there's no hiding.
Right.
Either you get choked or you don't. Either you survive or you don't.
Now, I've been in a lot of ground. I've been in a lot of ground games, man, but I've never really learned the skill sets.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to do that.
So I'll hook it up.
Yeah, please do.
I think you would get obsessed with it the same way Jocko's obsessed with it, the same way a lot of other SEALs get obsessed with martial arts.
It would be nice to do it.
Because it's also constant competition as well. I mean, you can get into competition every single night of the week.
Really?
And yeah, absolutely. And as a guy who's just starting out, you're going to be a white belt. You're going to get strangled a lot. You want to
Choke the fuck out.
Yeah, you want to start from the beginning. You're going to start from the beginning 100%.
Right.
There's
like
plenty
that.
of guys your size. There's plenty of guys that have doing it for fucking decades.
I know a lot of guys like to take their hands on me, so I'd be good.
Yeah.
Oh, Goggins, you coming, huh? Okay. Okay.
But it's also a good thing to have the kind of cardio and endurance you have, too.
Yeah, that's where I get people at. So I've rolled with a lot of guys who have skills, but the thing that I really have, and I'm not going to brag on it, man, is I got a fucked up cardio base, man. I got a fucked up cardio base, man, and my mentality is kind of fucked up, too.
Yeah.
So I realized that with fighting, that if you got a big cardio base and your mindset's fucked up, too,
cardio is almost everything.
That's what I know.
Skills are everything because a lot of guys with skills also have some cardio. They have enough to fuck you up.
Right.
But to have tremendous cardio with big skills is everything.
I see him out there, man, dying.
Yeah, because so many guys start at 100%, but 3 minutes into the fight, they're at 80.
Right.
You know, 5 minutes into the fight, they're at 60.
That's right.
And then they recover for a minute, they come back. But if you are in like a rolling session, like when you roll for 9 minutes straight. So you and this guy, and most of the time, there's multiple taps.
Right.
You'll tap him, he'll tap you, you tap each other. But 9 minutes, man, it is exhausting. When that bell goes off, the last, the bell for 30 seconds, and you got 30 seconds left in 9 minutes, and then ding, ding, it's over. You're like, fuck.
You're done.
And then you take a minute off, and you find a new partner.
That's good shit.
Get back in there. You love it.
It sounds like a good grind.
Yeah.
That's the next grind right there.
You love it. Yeah.
Hey, so long that take about if I went like this hard at it?
It's hard to say because it depends entirely upon how much emphasis you put on learning new techniques and drilling. Drilling is gigantic, and that's the thing that people don't like to do. Because jiu-jitsu is so fun, people like to just roll.
Right.
Sparring is where it's at. Like, I don't want to do all this practice. I want to choke people.
Right.
Like, I knew a few things. Like, do that. Okay, and then I do this. Okay, let me get in there. And then it's like a lot of jiu-jitsu schools, they'll start out with like 1 or 2 techniques, and then you roll. Most of the class is just sparring.
Right.
The right way to do it really is to drill way more than you spar.
Okay.
You should be drilling all the time, and live drilling too. Like you start out where a guy has your back, ready, go, and then from there you got to try to escape and do it the right thing, try to use the right technique to get out of that position. Or you'll start out with an arm bar, but he's defending, and you got to figure out how to extend it. You know, those live drills, straight drills like technique drills, and then live drills are, I think, even more important to your personal development. But a guy like you, who's smart and tough and will go crazy, shit, it shouldn't take that long. It takes people. I mean, it depends on how much you dedicate yourself to it. BJ Penn got his black belt in 3 years. Yeah, but it's crazy. He's BJ Penn. He's they call him the prodigy for a reason.
Right.
I had a conversation with him about though. It was really interesting once. He goes. He was talking to some other dude, and the guy said, I got my black belt at 3 years, just like you did, BJ. And he's like, wow, man. He goes, you must be good. He goes, no, man. He goes, I'm addicted, just like you. He goes, you were addicted. You're addicted. And he's like, I never thought about it that way. He goes, yeah, I'm addicted to jiu-jitsu. It's like you're addicted, like it takes over your mind.
Right, it's everything.
Your days are spent thinking about some guy who triangled you, this motherfucker. How'd he get me? Shit. Like,
I get that.
Dude, I got choked out 10 years ago that I think about sometimes when I'm lifting. I'll be tired, I'll think about a guy who caught me 10 years ago. I'm like, fuck!
Yeah,
and I just...
That's what's great about life, man.
Yeah.
Is I think about not being choked out, but I think about a lot of shit like that. I'm addicted.
Pushing.
They grind on me like a motherfucker, man.
And that's what you were talking about earlier, too. It's like the mind has these reserves.
Ooh.
You can trick it and pull them out.
Yes.
These inspirational reserves like you did when you guys were going through Bloods.
Yes.
We just found that trigger, and then all of a sudden you're throwing that boat in the air.
The mind always has the tactical advantage over you. Why is that? It knows your fears. It knows your insecurities. It knows where they're hiding.
You can't hide.
Can't hide from that motherfucker, man. That motherfucker has a tactical advantage on you, son. That's gonna get you, man. It's a beast.
That might be your best lesson, right? That your mind knows everything. You cannot hide from it, so don't ever try.
Don't try. You might as well go ahead and beat that motherfucker up. You gotta keep going at it.
That's also what you did in this book. You didn't try to like paint yourself in a glorious or flattering way at any point in time. You were honest at every step of the way, which I think is just gigantic for people too, because you can tell when someone's stroking themselves or bullshitting themselves, and the message just won't come through. Like this, you come through in this book. You know, like who you are and what you became and how you became who you are and who you used to be and why you were the way you used to be. All that comes through. It's like there's no filter. This is just your thoughts, what you remember about your life and what you think about right now. Just all comes out onto the pages.
Hardest thing I've done in my entire life.
Scary shit,
I have
bro.
fucking, I don't know how many people are buy this book. Then
suck.
I walk up to people walk up to me. I'm like, what are you thinking about?
Nope.
In the bed? No, sir?
Dying! Oh my god.
What are you thinking about?
That's hilarious. I know, right? What are you thinking about? You open it up all.
Yeah, you know all about me. Hey, how about you, motherfucker? Tell me something about you.
Oh shit.
That's what people love, right? When they know some shit about you, and you don't know nothing about them.
I know nothing about nobody.
That's anonymous trolls.
That's it, man. And they get at me. They come.
Oh, there's a lot of those. But they're all doing that to themselves. They don't even understand. When you do that, you're doing it to yourself.
Right.
If you are attacking someone because you know that they have a weakness, but you're pretending you don't have one, you are attacking yourself. You are chipping away at your own personal sovereignty. You're chipping away at your own respect.
So true, man.
You can't respect yourself. You know you're a pussy. You're talking shit.
But that's what happened, though, Joe, to me. I start looking at people realizing, I know something about you. Because they don't want to talk about it.
Right.
I already know it.
Yeah.
If you're talking shit about me, I know you're fucked up.
Yeah.
That's why all these cats that come out right now who don't like me or whatever, I'm like, really, man? That shit happened 30 fucking years ago, 15 years ago. You're still fucked up about that? Oh, man. I know something about you, brother. See, I get over everything. I'm good. It's water under the fucking bridge.
The grind.
Politics is not entertainment where you have a bunch of like different actors in the politics sphere that you like. Like, I like Bastion. I like Destiny. I like Vaush. No, that's not what politics is about, you stupid face. It's about trying to exercise power. And my politics is a socialist politics, which means I want to exercise power for the benefit of the worker, the disenfranchised, the minority, the poor.
Can I get up there?
So this is Mike from PA. Central Committee is going through a docs list of what are scouts. Now, a scout is if you have a strike and somebody else works, you call that person a scout because they're breaking the strike, basically.
Is ostracized from every union pilot. If they find out you're on this list, they will do everything they can to hurt you and your career. To exclude you from every social function. To prevent sharing a cockpit.
Where you guys want to go?
To prevent working with you.
There was recently
Okay, super nice. Nice to play with
Hassan
you. What the fuck?
participated. I don't know if he just took a day off and said it was, or if he actually like wanted to do this or what. But Hassan does this day off Twitch thing. Mike knows about it, but guess what happens
Okay, I know.
when Mike finds out that Hassan is taking a stream off? Mike from PA, generally he streams right until Hassan streams, and then he shuts his stream off. So notice how Mike will stream as a Hassan waiting room, and then as soon as Hassan turns his stream off, he'll shut his stream off and he starts doing his streams. And then he like sends people over to Hassan, right? So if we look at the, I don't know if this is in UTC what, but it looks like he streams until maybe 6 or 7, probably about 6:30.
What a move.
Every time he streams, Well, on the day that Hassan takes off that hashtag day off Twitch, Mike is out here with like a fucking 7-hour stream. He streams way past his normal time. Unironically, scab breaking. And the funny thing is, somebody actually tries to call him out on this. And then Mike tries to play stupid. Roe v. Wade overturned, abortion's legal in Texas, Biden in speech on full U.S. withdrawal, hog watching, MAGA copium. Okay. Andre, that one dipshit guy that we argued a long time ago, okay, comes out and says, why are you streaming? And he's like, is there a reason I shouldn't be streaming? The Quarantine guy, yeah. And then he says, a day off Twitch, and Mike's like, oh, what organization is that? Because the day off Twitch people don't have enough clout for fucking Mike to care. I'm sorry, real quick, just in case you guys didn't know this, Mike is actually doing what would be considered the worst, most scabbish type of behavior. Not only are you working during a strike, but you're trying to pick up what other people weren't doing while they're striking. Like, it is actually, like, you can say that some people working during a strike because they have to feed their family is one thing, or because they really need the hours or whatever. But to have somebody come in when other people are on strike and be like, you know, everybody's out of the office today. I can actually do all the overtime. I'll pick up all their fucking work. To do that is actually the most scabbish behavior. Picket line. 3 affiliates said not to stream. That's a picket line now. I've literally seen nothing for this Twitch boycott. What are the demands? Who are the leaders? How are they selected? It's not a strike. There is no proposed bargaining unit. I'm frustrated because it's not a real movement. It's about clout. And streamers really need collective action. Looks like everyone streamed today, KekW. Told you guys. That's what I said. It isn't actually a strike, by the way. It's some random people with no clout and who barely stream, trying to get retweeted. I stream more in a week than the people who organized it do in a year. Anyway, I can stream in an hour if you guys want. Why the hell would I do that? I like having a weekend day off rather than some dumb fuck Wednesday. Scab would imply that there was some sort of union or collective bargaining happening, or collective action happening, that had a democratic basis. Also, quite frankly, I do this for a living. Those people don't. I like how he pretends if he takes like 1 day off, it's gonna fucking break the bank. Bro, what do you spend your money on? Holy shit. Oh my god. You know, I can tell, no economic demands at all. Telling me to strike, flex my economic power, and then there are 0 demands to improve my economic situation? Really cool. They stream for less than 150 hours in a year. They literally aren't actual streamers. I took the morning off to see if there was some big action happening, but I have to say, they didn't organize, and I'm not going to take food out of my mouth unless we are really working towards some permanent structure for streamers. These social media posts led efforts are cringe and counterproductive. Revolutions in union organizing is a practical, tactical effort, firmly grounded in reality and full of pragmatic efforts. I saw none of that, including no democratic legitimacy or effort to build something serious. Destiny, if you take a
No.
take a hit in revenue, or does it make up for the day after? You'll take a small hit, like on Dono's birthday. But if you're a big streamer, Mike's got what, 4,000 subs? He'll be okay. Subs are passive income. He'll be fine. Those demands are absolute garbage. I don't even agree with 2. Why the hell would I want it to be hard for new users I bring to the site to participate in my community? Oh, this is him advocating against the hate raid stuff? Fuck that, it's bad for the website and therefore bad for me. Sites need to have low barriers to entry. Use the moderation tools. I've actually been getting hate raided for years and bought it. Wow, oh no, Mike, definitely get those big hate raids. He doesn't know about like all the chats of like the bots coming in and spamming the N-word and shit, huh? There are definitely some engineering solutions, but I don't agree with their approach at all. We got hate raided this week. It was a 10-minute inconvenience. Nothing compared to when I had multiple fake DMCA claims against my channel that got me banned. No one had my back, by the way. I had 3 strikes. I was permanently banned. I had to write DMCA counterclaim letters using my legal education. By the way, here's what a DMCA counterclaim looks like in case you guys don't know. It's emailing Twitch, hey, my name is this and this. Here's my address.
Wow,
I have
nice.
the legal rights to use that content. If they don't like it, sue me. That's all it was. There is no fancy legal letter that you have to draft. Fucking anybody can do a counterclaim. You just fill out a fucking form. And be ready for lawsuits. And guess what? I won and now have 0 regrets. Still got banned 3 separate times for 24 hours. Wow. I'm just very angry that I have to pretend that this is a serious action. I want marginalized people to think I am ignoring them. It was cynical movement, and I don't like the implication that I'm acting against my leftist values because someone tweeted something 2 days before I'm supposed to just comply. Fuck off. Oh my god.
Mike, why did you stream too? I thought scabs were bad. I streamed along with pretty much everybody else who was doing political content. I have a news show. Unless we're doing actual economic action, I'm going to cover those stories. The same as TYT.
Oh, actually, I want so much more. I'm sorry. I want to make a really good tweet. I just want to shit all over him. Unless we're doing actual economic action. There's 2 things I want to link here now. Wait, can somebody make me a streamable of just like this, like 20 or 30 seconds? Because there's 2 things. One, he said that charity in the past is not real. It's not real action. And 2,
Wow.
what was the other one that I was
Hvordan
saying?
fuck døde han den anden ikke?
Oh, and 2 was that big thing he talked about how he wasn't going to waste his time doing mutual aid.
Seems like that might be more fruitful than having another one of these discussions that does nothing.
Okay. The reason why people organize around presidential elections is because they get tens of billions of dollars of free media. It's a unifying election that everybody in the entire country knows about, and it gives us a common language that we can reach more and more people. If you go into mutual aid stuff, that is inherently a very local action. If I go and do mutual aid shit, my audience will go from thousands of people to 50 people. Because be in their own communities doing local actions and not doing anything that's oriented towards national politics.
Imagine missing the point of every single political movement in the history of your entire life so succinctly in one sentence. I can't even imagine a more perfect sentence to show how misaligned your priorities are if your goal is actual political power. Why would I want to do mutual aid when it would spur all of my viewers on to actually do better in all of their communities? I'd lose all of my audience. I'd have no money. Like, how perfect is this? It is the most perfect sentence I've ever seen in my life for somebody to just out themselves as being not in politics for power, but just for entertainment purposes.
What?
This is a defeating, and also, can we be real? Who's gonna turn? Can you show me?
I think Lucius Fox or whatever the guy, even he realizes how fucking stupid this is.
Mutual aid streamers? Of people that just sit there discussing mutual aid all day?
What are you talking about? You can diversify your content. You can talk about more than just that.
Yep.
What?
Okay, guys. I mean, and my politics is a socialist politics, which means I want to exercise power for the benefit of the worker, the disenfranchised.
As long as he still makes money off of it, by the way.
The minority, the poor.
As long as they're not too poor that they can't subscribe to a stream. Give subs, right? Not too poor, okay.
Nej, hvor er det dumt.
With
Hvor er det
Bastiat
dårligt.
being gas attorney.
Hvor er det dårligt.
Well, of course you don't, because Bastia actually passed the bar. He's an actual What would you have in common? Well, he's a lawyer. Dude, this guy's such a fraud. How do people not see this?
By the way, chat, let me just say this. Let me say one thing. I wanna say one thing. For those of you who support the stream financially, I want you to know one thing. It serves a dual role. Obviously, the money goes to me, and I spend it how I see fit. I give it to other people, you know, and do good things with it. But it's mostly just mine. The second thing you do is you trigger the fuck out of Destiny and every one of his orbiters. They get so frustrated that I make more money on Twitch than he ever did. Even though he's been streaming longer, I make more money per month than he ever did, and Hassan makes like 20 times more than he ever made. Ever. When he was a partner. And when you lose your partnership chat, the fees you get go up significantly.
What is he talking about?
So he's making less and he's...
I don't know if Mike knows any of the numbers for who's making
there's
what.
no one on the roof.
There is a decent chance Mike probably makes, if we're being honest, Mike probably makes a little bit more money than my YouTube editor. Okay? Although I will say there is an extra layer of irony that a leftist is attacking me and trying to say that he thinks he's better than me because of the amount of money that he makes. That's a... I think I keep track of everything. I'm a job creator, okay? That's what I do. I create jobs, all right? So Destiny GG LLC has paid out this year, so far, about 155,000 in wages. That's what I've paid so far to people that work for me this year.
I just think it's made him really stupid. He used to be a really thoughtful and introspective person, but when it comes...
The funny thing about this, like the reason why I know he doesn't actually feel this way is because he's trying to signal to his audience that I'm an idiot, but the reality is like, well, like, no offense, but if Vosh is a mini me, right? What do you do when you see like dumb fucks online that are really loud? You want to talk to them. Because like, those are the best conversations. Because if I can find some guy that's really confident in his positions, it's super loud about him online, I'm about to get a 300,000 view YouTube video roasting and grilling the fuck out of them on my stream, right? That's what you do to people. Well, I mean, like, that's what we do, right? We're debate bros. I mean, Vosh is a mini me, and I started the whole, well, I don't think I started debate bro culture, but I was a big contributor to it online. So the idea that he would like simultaneously sit there and be like, oh, Destiny's just, I've intellectual outpaced him. He's really wrong. He's really dumb. But I can't engage with him anymore. Those communities are just, it's too much. Like he's just, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, if your ideas are so great, why can't you debate me? And like this was going on for years. Like they were horrible. If you care about like harassing people, which I try not to do, you know, these people postured themselves as like the intellectual gatekeepers of the universe, dude. And now, and I'm going to be a little bit conceited here because I've debated Sargon twice and I know for a fact he got really fucking mad after the last debate that I had with him. He was feeling real good after the first one. That's probably what made him do the second one. And he was feeling real bad after that second one, okay? That's why he didn't make a video on it. I'm going to assume this is largely about me, okay? So how fucking pathetic of you to posture as these debate lords for years, and then a couple people on the left actually start engaging in debate and all of you back the fuck off. It's actually a really, really smart survival strategy on your part because none of you stand a fucking chance against, not just me, anyone who has done any amount of research on any of the subjects you guys talk about. The moment you get rid of the inherent power differential that is associated with like tiny little left tubers arguing with Big Daddy Sargon or whatever, the moment you get rid of that fear and intimidation, you guys collapse like a house of cards and you run away.
I just think it's kind of fun.
The position that I have on this now is like, discussion of him is banned on Discord and Reddit and also here in the chat because I just don't care anymore. We spent entirely too long being concerned with the opinion that he and his community have had. Any drama farmers, any clip chimps, any drama frogs, whatever, you're all going to get banned. Not because you saw the Destiny.
How long will this one last, guys?
I do not care anymore. Bosh, if you were to choose Mike from PA or Destiny, I still think Mike from PA is way more of a joke than Destiny, but I unironically think they're starting to converge. I actually do believe that. I do genuinely believe that. Also, to be fair, I don't think Mike has ever done anything as heinous as like passively legitimize Lauren Southern. That like in terms of like the character.
Oh, we gotta watch his criticism of Shoe on Head later, by the way, guys.
English is fine.
And like intelligence, obviously Mike from PA is like digging out the ditch. But yeah, I don't know. Eventually.
Where you guys want to go?
You never know.
I don't mind. I never play this, so I'll just follow you guys.
Yeah, or the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff, or the blocking all trans people on Twitter stuff, or the left and the right share equal amounts of disinformation stuff, or yeah, all that. It seems like a lot of harm being done. Do I still respect? Oh no, I don't respect Destiny at all. To be fair, it's not just that I dislike him. I actively think he's like, unironically, kind of a stupid, like, dumb fuck now. The kind of like statements that he makes about the left belie such an incredible emotional bias against them that it's compromised his ability to think clearly. It's not just. I mean, it's not that he's like actually like dumb or what. I'm sure he's a smart guy. But the left have revealed that he's so terminally online with regards to them that it, like.
To be fair, to fight with the left, you have to be terminally online because they really only exist online.
He's just turned into like a centrist both sideser, you know? And it's pretty fucking weird that you get more angry with like 1,000-follower trans Twitter accounts than you would with like the architects of white nationalism in the West.
Now, it's funny that he says that because there's actually two big ways to push back here. One is that factually, I've spent like, I think the reason why my career took off was debating alt-righters. That was literally like my whole call to fucking fame, okay? Like my whole, well, fame, whatever. Like that was the thing that made me the most progress to do on the debates. Number one. Number two, is it, let's say that was true. If we go by affected by what, right? I don't actually have much like negative fallout in my life from white nationalists, but I have a fuck ton of negative fallout in my life from like leftists that try to constantly get my life destroyed online.
Fuck
Even if I was
like
only focused on uplifting people, would that really be that insane? Like, wouldn't that kind of be expected? Like if I were to go to some poor person who lives in the fucking ghetto and be like, hey, what do you think about Afghanistan? And they're like, I don't give a fuck. And I'm like, oh, really? So you're more concerned with your fucking Nikes than you are about the lives of people in Afghanistan, right? Could I really get away with saying that? Or would people be like, Destiny, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, obviously, like, people are gonna care. It's a proximal thing. I mean, like, come on. Let's be a little bit reasonable. But, oh, and then also, I noticed that like once you don't like me, basically you get to do like all of the you get to like bring out any attack against me you want.
God damn it.
Dylan argued for about 3
hours.
Basically nothing distinguishing Destiny's behavior from that of a common victim. His arguments were bad, if eloquently delivered. He came in to discredit and attack Kat. He did so with all the standard tropes. You know, she strung him along by not being upfront harassment. She's clout sharking, you know. She actually liked him, so he got mixed signals. Yeah, he actually said it on at one point. At one point, he actually said, if you're a victim of workplace sexual harassment, you have power over your boss. Like if your boss harasses you and you're a woman, which that is some content creator skull if I've ever heard it, but no, he said that. You can, that's not me misdescribing. Yeah. Anyway, it ended with essentially Destiny blaming Kat, saying that Kat was the manipulator. He was making conspiratorial arguments, that he was doing this in his chat too, that all of this was being orchestrated for like clout sharking, and Kat just wanted to farm attention, and that Dylan was doing this to knock off competitors, and yeah, this is textbook woman manipulation. Yeah, his arguments were like really bad. They were also largely tangential, because like 2 hours of the convo were spent
Det er nice. Ej, sidder han og camper?
Romantic interest, which is kind of tangential, right? Because the real question is, did Prime Kai behave inappropriately? Destiny's interest seemed more humanizing.
Doesn't look like
Kat's concerns by insinuating that Prime Kai was perhaps justified, or at the very least felt he was justified behaving the way that he did. Anyway, it was just standard victim blamey stuff, and even if his broader prescription had been correct, he would have still been wrong. I'll explain why, really quickly, okay? So, imagine, right? Imagine you're on college and a bike, and you're like, oh, who stole the bike? And your neighbor gets out, and they say, it was the black guy. And you're like, you don't know that. Why do you think that? And your neighbor is like, well, the warrior gene that every black male is born with predisposes them to acts of violence, which, of course, property theft is a kind of, and like he goes on. And later, it turns out that actually it was the black guy who stole the bike. Does that affirm all the arguments that guy made? No, of course it doesn't. So yeah, no. Whether or not Destiny's community sides with him in that regard will largely depend on whether or not they appreciate good arguments or the aesthetic of good arguments. So, that's the acknowledgement I know everyone wanted to see. It's out of the way. I'm going to spend the rest of the time just talking about all of the information regarding Prime Kai. Okay? I know chat's siding with him. I know what his community's like. Trust me. So anyway, let's talk about the actual info at hand. Waste no more time with this spiteful contrarianism.
Destiny and I have an, I would say interesting relationship, but maybe it's actually not. I think actually it's kind of like really mundane. Like in terms of Twitch politics, relationship that Destiny and I have had. Like if you look at our DMs, right? If that ever comes up for some fucking reason, I don't know. But if you look at our DMs, it's very boring. Sort of.
I kind of like that one.
We don't.
To live it up, though.
I mean, we don't want to talk like that. Most of our interactions you've seen. Most of our interactions have been streamed. There's been like twice I think I've talked to this man in like private, like in like the voice call privately, right? But most of it you have all experienced with us. He came out fucking blinging me. He didn't just come with a
Oh my god, oh my god.
Like, he came with an Abrams.
What the fuck?
That's not a sniper or shotgun. No, it's easy. I think it's probably handgun. Somebody in the air?
If he didn't do that, then I think a lot of people would not have bothered to listen to my response.
Fuck, I
take responsibility for my own actions. I messed up myself. In case you didn't know that. I have a whole VOD where I talk about that. It's still up if you want to take a look. But he came out. He just wrecked house. Like I don't know what to say. Like it's amazing. It's amazing. I don't. So. I don't know.
Oh no.
Didn't have to do that. That's the fucking millionaire. And who am I, right? Again, I'm not some, like, we don't have this great friendship behind the scenes, right? We tell each other our stories or anything, right? I like to be friends. That'd be cool. Be nice, maybe. I don't know. But, like, we like, that's not our relationship. For you, the audience, to understand. But you might not have known that if you saw the way he was defending me. You might not have known that.
Yeah,
did it
left.
Anyway. The next time you guys want to come and complain at me that Destiny had some terrible take, and what do you think? Well, actually, I'll probably agree with you. Because as I told Destiny in our DMs, I privately thanked him for what he did for me. And I let him know that the next time I have a dog shit take, I'm going to call him on it. Nothing changes there. Nothing changes there. And you'll see me get like super fucking frustrated like I usually do when Destiny is here. I'll get super goddamn frustrated with everything he's saying. And I'll like interrupt other guests. Like, no, shut up. I gotta yell at Destiny. Fuck you, Steven. I'll do that. I will do that. If you had not done that, people would not have listened to me.
What the fuck? That's not alright.
He's making accusations against me. Serious accusations against me. And they have a platform that is 10 times my size. I think I'm a big streamer. I'm not a big streamer. But people, like, I'm not a big streamer. I don't know about that. But this another streamer is making accusations 10 times my size, right? When I go on my channel, smaller. Most people would not hear it. Most people will not care to find it and simply draw conclusions. If it wasn't for Destiny,
Oh, please kill me. I don't need it. Sweet. Oh! Ah, so dumb. Holy shit, okay. Let's fucking go.
Eliminate all targets in the area. Enemy UAV overhead.
Anybody need this?
Exit. Anyway. Oh.
active in the AO.
Okay, we're inside. Cancel movement. Does anyone need this?
Friendly UAV overhead. Target right. Enemy UAV overhead. Loadout drop inbound.
Enemy! Here.
Gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
Holy shit.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Huh?
Closing in. Enemy UAV overhead.
They're on! Right, we're in the safe zone. It's about to get noisy.
Antuta?
Enemy contact.
They're on me!
Gas is inbound. Marking new safe zone. Fire station.
Up in sight!
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead.
All right, I've got you.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead.
Holy shit. Oh, on top, on the roof. Fuck. Fuck, kommer han fra, mand? Hvor fuck skal jeg nu til her? Hvorfor supporter I ikke hinanden, mand? Hvad sker der? Tumper. Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Sick shit, bro. Åh, jeg er bare klar med det. I like it. Good for det der.
Grid is marked. Total fire. Precision airstrike inbound.
Oh my god. Oh my god, jeg håber ikke det ser sådan ud, når jeg skyder. Hvorfor vil du gå derind igen? Holding plates. Og løb! Good luck, bro. I'll take it. Leaking. We got missed the levels. Yeah. It's visible to enemies. What about that? Upgrade ASAP. Oh no. Streaker. Double weapon ace baton. Oh my god. Hvis vi med krigen. Nice. Noget fedt vi kan få på. Med et bedre optik. Okay. Godt.
Get yourself a proper warm-up. We'll be deploying soon. Enemy dropping into the AO. Enemy soldier incoming. They're targeting me. Alright, that's enough mucking about. Now we do this for real. Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
What's the skies? Oh.
Battle Royale. Mark a drop point for your team. You'll lead them in. Gas is closing on your position. Suggest you get moving.
Oh shit. Well, this sucks. Wow, you ran? You ran? What the fuck, bro? Hvor er jeg hader mennesker, mand. Jesus Christ.
It's one shot.
Hvor er det dårligt! Fuck you guys, suck. Hvorfor fuck løber han? Hvor er det irriterende. Du starter med en fucking pistol, så fucking skyder den. Svært. Er det?
Why would you put £100 on anything? What do you mean? I haven't got £100.
What do you mean?
Because it adds a bit of spice.
Yeah.
Wait,
Jake, if you do it bottom to top, let's go.
Yeah.
I'll Bobat will match Toby's.
But if I don't do it, do I have to pay you?
Nah. Yeah. So Jay's getting 200 gibloons if he sends it this go.
You would have. You put.
I'm putting 100, on that as well. Yeah, and so is Tobe. So.
This video was brought to you by Squarespace.
Warzone.
Hello,
big video today.
Yeah,
we're at
it's
Parthy in
happening.
Southampton. It's finally happening. The guys at Parthy in Southampton have let us do something special. Today we're recreating a paddle dyno from the Olympics. I don't have anything else to say.
Plan is we've got a bunch of pictures and that from this qualifier block from the Olympics, and we're going to try and recreate it as accurately as we possibly can. We've got a bunch of the same holes that were on it and a few that are very similar. The kind of most crucial holes are identical. And obviously the wall's identical. And yeah, we're going to try
an actual Olympic block. Because people are a bit confused about the last video. Because the last video we did here was actually before the Olympics. So we couldn't try the Olympic blocks because it wasn't the Olympics. But yeah, we're only setting one block because it's taken us about 3 weeks just to source all the kind of holes.
On these like really fancy, expensive holes.
Yeah, just like the exact hole.
Yeah.
We didn't get all the ones though. Because the start and the finish holes, just no one in the country has those holes, basically.
Yeah.
In the hole.
I want to know why you copied my head.
Basically, I just got sick of not being as good looking as you.
Thanks. And I walk way quicker than you do.
Yeah. Head down.
Reference papers. Look at the print.
Papers.
Look at the printer quality on that.
You actually need these papers to actually go anywhere in the UK.
Stand by for deployment to the Warzone.
You know, that's how it works now. We're in a dystopian state.
The angle change between this hole and this hole. Basically, these notes are really cool.
Yeah, you can see here.
And that's the computer it was printed on.
So if you don't know what problem we're talking about, Tom's going to put a little video. I'll describe it to you. Basically, these are the two crucial holes. You jump to this one, sort of steepish, you paddle off it, into this pocket, cut loose. They're the two crucial holes, so we're going to put them on first. Linkin Park's just started playing, I don't know why.
Oh, I wasn't slow.
So yeah, basically, we've got slightly different volumes than they used on the Olympic boulder, and they had like an overlap. So basically, this big Taji hold was kind of touching both this main panel of wall and the surface of a volume. That's against this other angle of wall.
So you've got to get the angles.
Yeah, exactly. And what that means is you can have the Taji like further out away from the wall than you normally would be able to. So it just kind of allows you to get the move to work in this dyno.
But our issue is this.
What's the issue?
It's not a perfect overlap. So we've got to jimmy it a little bit.
So
we're going to try and just put the Taji on the wall in the place that we want it to be.
Oh, and then slide the volume into it.
Slide whatever we need to.
He's 4D chess right now. Playing fucking 5D chess against themselves right now. This is arm burning back to front chess.
Big shout out to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Without Squarespace, these videos wouldn't be possible, and without Squarespace, we wouldn't have been able to build our brand new website for our brand new climbing wall. As you can tell, it's looking really slick. It has a nice video that plays on the landing page, and we don't have to worry about resizing that video for different devices. Squarespace handled all the technical stuff for us, and we didn't need to know how to code, which is amazing. Also, if you're looking to sell stuff on Squarespace, they make it really easy for you to start an online store. All you need to do is click and drop the elements that make the store into your web page, and it's done. You didn't have to know anything about coding. So, if you're looking to get online today and you want to make a website, if you go to our channel and click on the link in the description or use the codename BoulderinBoba, you'll get 10% off your first purchase. Alright guys, thank you very much, and back to the video.
Gas is closing in.
Like the dyno, I feel I'm like, I don't know, like
50-50.
Yeah, I think we stand a chance.
The rotator or
the main dyno move, but the last move, it's going to be really tough.
It looks hard.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance we'll have to change the hold.
That's it, yeah. So off this, paddle into the donut, and then you have to do like a dyno into a double palm press at the finish.
That bit looked like the
hardest bit is probably the dyno, maybe?
You said it looked too easy.
Yeah.
You almost can't play that. It's ridiculous.
We
finished setting. We've done a little bit of a dynamic warm-up. And here's our replica, and I'm going to show you what is exact and what is not quite exact, but we're pretty close to it. Start position is kind of a little bit different from the original. In the original, there's a cheater boom ramp rather than this big sloper. Also, the volume's a bit different, but I think we've kind of, with the start, it's just about having a really good start. I don't think it was that important to how hard the boulder was. I mean, it was really good. But, oh yeah, and then you foot plant off our nicely overlapped high G, on your hand, flick round the front, and the foot holds and both hand holds are pretty identical. I mean, they're the exact holds that were on the boulder. And then you do like a little hand match on that, arm into the top. The top hold is quite different, and I think that could be a point because that looked like the hardest move on the climb. Maybe that hold's not good enough. We don't know until we get there, really. So cool. But yeah, psyched to give it a go.
Nice.
Let's do it. The shittest must go first.
Oh, dude, just shut up, please.
Ooh, I felt it bite, but complex, yeah.
Oh my days, it's gonna go.
No. First go, this guy, Olympian. Look at him.
There are 24 enemies still out there. Kill them all. Objective is to eliminate the bounty target.
Bit of body armor here.
I'm hit.
Opa.
Hostile dropping into the area. We've got gas moving in.
He dies. That's fun.
UAV entering the AO.
Down.
If you're outside the safe zone, it's time to move.
UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
Someone landing at the Lodi.
Stand by for quarter. Doesn't matter. Never mind. Got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated. Fire station costs are adjusted. Out of time. Scrub the contract. Plate clear.
Down.
Eyes on shooter. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy dropping into the AO. Enemy UAV overhead.
Take the gondola, guys.
Enemy UAV overhead.
It's a bad idea, but sure.
Alright. They're targeting you. Movement! Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Who would have thought they would come there? Why don't you look? Oh my god. Fucking idioter, man.
Where the fuck are they shooting from?
They're behind you!
Behind you, motherfucker, then ping them!
Dude, I'm
Fucking
dead.
idiot.
What do you want me to do? Fucking moron. Fucking idiot. Vi havde en kamp med dem, mand. Selvfølgelig kommer de derfra. De kan ikke komme væk. Dumb fucks. Dumb fuck.
Get yourself sorted. We'll be deployed shortly. Playtime's over, mate. You're going to the war zone. Battle Royale. Avoid the gas. Get to the safe zone.
Oh shit. Here we go again. Hello, mate.
Get to work.
Do you have mic?
No.
Oh, very. I don't have mic too. I speak from the freezer. With Michael Jackson.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Requesting recon. Send flyover.
Oh shit, there's no one with us.
Huh?
There's no one with us. No enemies.
Huh? Okay, I understand now. But huh? 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 I understand now. No bavitas. I know no bavitas, man. Why loading? Nice.
Located a supply box. Secure that position.
I'm coming with money. Not now.
updated. New objective identified.
Setting them out.
Contract updated. New objective identified. Enemy UAV overhead. All supply boxes found. Solid kill. Objective is to eliminate the bounty target. Friendly UAV overhead.
Is loader? Mid.
Got gas moving in.
They call the weapon here.
Overhead. Friendly sentry gun online.
Moving up here. Cancel my last.
Right.
I'm off this way. Cancel my last. Side.
25 remaining. Nicely done.
Setting a charge.
Oh.
Hostile dropping into the area. What? Got a loadout drop inbound. Moving. Got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated. Moving. Time's up. Objective failed. Time's running out. Get to the target area. Contract done. Your payout limit has increased. Friendly UAV overhead.
We need eyes. Send
Control center.
Be advised, enemy team is tracking your location. Time's running out. Get to the target area.
Go make that shit.
Contract done. Your payout limit has increased. Friendly UAV overhead.
Marked here.
Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
Wanna go in?
Objective is to eliminate the bounty target.
One bullet, one bullet. Come on.
Target is down.
What's up? On the roof.
Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply. 80 minus front.
You fucking nigga, motherfucker.
Whoa, chill.
No, I don't go there. I don't go there again.
I'm not fucking with that shotgun.
You're dying with 27k, man. I have 16k. Buy some.
Right, we're in the It's about to get noisy.
Nice cock.
You say nice cock.
Let's go.
Gas is closing. Get to the new safe zone.
Stuck.
Enemy soldier incoming.
The last one is here. One of the last.
What the fuck am I doing?
Run away. Nice.
Nice shot.
This is a team wipe. Oh, it was the last one of the team.
Ah, shit.
Fate in tocchiare.
It's very a shitty position.
Get for me, my friend.
Oh shit. I have no plates.
Ah, shit.
Just suck my cock, please. I have no munition.
How is this possible? How is this possible?
Someone go get that.
Hostility open.
9 enemies are still active. Hunt them down. You're alright, mate. You're alright. Go get that over. Go get that over. Marking waypoint. Go get that over. Movement.
Group of fucking planners, dude. Pizza det her seriøst. Hvad fuck gjorde du der? Hvor blød var du der?
It's a long way to the safe zone. We need to move.
Oh shit, get fucked.
Get yourself sorted. We'll be deploying shortly.
Remark.
Copy, Mark. Enemy dropping.
I couldn't see.
Oh. Wildcard set.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Oh. Don't let it kill him.
Warm up's done. Time to kick this off. Enemy soldier incoming.
Copy, Mark. Negative. Moving out.
Plunder. Job simple. Secure more cash from the enemy.
What the fuck? What the fuck is the point of this?
Copy. I'm on it.
It's okay.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead. Extraction is standing by. Mark an LZ for pickup.
That's good.
Enemy UAV overhead.
We need eyes. Send that recon.
UAV entering the AO. Contact.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy dropping into the AO.
Man må hårdt at spille det og spille lidt. Fuck laver du ellers? Bot eller sådan noget shit?
Close.
Og så lidt længere ud. Lidt længere ud, hvis du tager. No.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Uh-oh.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Most wanted designation accepted. You're a target now.
Hvad var det? Og det var måske nok. Yes. Fuck, jeg er på vej hen, man.
UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead.
Oh fuck! I thought I killed it then. Oh, over time we can keep our doctor's purpose.
Be advised, there's an enemy team hunting you. Objective update. Secure that position.
I am tired of that shit.
Primary objective accomplished. Recon intel secured.
Fuck, du shootede det her. Okay. Altså ikke bedre. Yeah, I must be the way to go. Damage go. Aim walking movement speed, don't care, flash. Yes.